What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy, well, at least it's not Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tuesday, everybody.
It's Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Starting it off on the second day.
Yeah, it feels like a Monday. Smells like a Monday.
It does have a little bit of a Monday smell to it.
But it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tuesday.
You know, I kind of, the reason I don't like these 3-day weekends is because I feel like Monday taints my Tuesday. Like I feel like it gets its Mondayness all over my Tuesday.
Yeah.
You got Monday on my Tuesday. Well, you got Tuesday on my Monday. Reese's Tuesday Monday cups.
There we go. Happy Reese's Tuesday, everybody.
That's right.
Feel crunchy or creamy?
A little creamy.
A little creamy.
Nice and smooth.
Nice.
Did you have a good Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, not bad. How about yourself?
Oh, dude, fantastic.
Good deal.
It was amazing. Up in the cool pines of Ruidoso, just me and the girl, and it was nice.
Nice. And you were up there Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday into Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we stayed Saturday night. Big thanks to Viola, by the way, for hooking us up with that amazing cabin. It was, I mean, she gave me a
So you probably
fantastic-
missed our little rain
You know, what was funny was we were
incident on Saturday afternoon.
We were following along because you know it was inclement weather up the hill. You know, just a little bit of sprinkles every now and again, but it cooled things down. It was real nice. I mean, it was like perfect picturesque like weekend weather. It was fantastic. Meanwhile, we were watching online. You know, flash flood warning in Roswell and stuff was destroyed. Then we got back and we found out that the place, Jazzworks La Casa, actually got wrecked. One of the they were installing air conditioners last week. I guess there was a hole in the roof, and a lot of the water went in and just destroyed everything. Everything was water damaged.
Too bad. So
the La Casa office is going to be closed down for a couple weeks. They're doing things remote
while they get that repaired. Mm-hmm. Well, I imagine there's some other places. I know. I know that I heard, and I don't know. I didn't hear the follow-up details, but I heard they were doing some water rescues like north of Roswell area and stuff just because of flooding and things like that. So it was a pretty hairy day Saturday afternoon for some folks.
You know what's crazy is, and I know that we're still in a drought technically, even with all the rain we've gotten recently. Oh, we've got to be pretty close to getting out of it. One of the places we kind of ventured to was just up the hill, up Alto to like Lake Bonito. And I've heard that it was dry, but I thought they had refilled it. It's a completely dry lake bed now.
Yeah.
We wandered around at the bed of the lake.
Is that the lake where the town of Bonita and the murders and all, is that the same?
I don't know. I know that a lot of the water was diverted.
Like the ghost town back in the day?
Maybe. A lot of the water was diverted from the fires. They had a lot of those, the fires from the last few years, and then it just never got diverted
But
back.
I was thinking like Lake Bonita, wasn't there a town there? And then they had the murders like back in the, I want to say like 1870s or something like that. I don't remember. But I've heard of some of those stories. I don't know the whole. Matter of fact, they talk about it up at the Flying J Ranch.
Oh, yeah?
It's up in that area. But, yeah.
Which, yeah, we actually drove by the Flying J, which that's...
yeah, it's all up in that area.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Julio Perez Silva is a Chilean serial killer who was active between 1998 and 2001, known as the psychopath from Alto Hopsi.
Is that the same guy?
I'm assuming.
You said 98. I was thinking this was like 1800s. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I have to do some digging on that.
This might be a different place.
Yeah, I just heard of a story. I don't know the whole story. So, but anyway, well, good. Sounds like you had a great time. I had a good time. We got a full slate for you today. We're actually hopefully Robert. I don't know if Tanner had talked to him yet. Robert Sherman with Walker Aviation Museum is going to join us. We're going to bring him in a little later. We're going to have on the phone this hour Douglas Murray. General Murray, probably many folks remember him from the New Mexico Military Institute. Well, he was the winner of the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association. I believe he was the Lifetime Achievement Award winner.
Oh, nice.
And so we're going to interview him for a little bit on the phone, and then we're going to talk to Robert from the Walker Aviation Museum. But I might bring Robert and chit-chat.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a fantastic.
Obviously, for folks, when General Murray wasn't doing his thing at the New Mexico Military Institute. He was involved with Walker Aviation Museum, among other things. He's retired, and now he calls, I believe, Colorado his home. But we're going to join him on the telephone here.
I say bring him in because if Big Flat Mike taught us anything, these headphones can be a hecka useful.
That's right. So I thought maybe I might surprise them both with that.
Nice.
Then we're going to talk with Robert here from the Walker Aviation Museum, get an update from them. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have Marcos Nava join us from the Roswell Hispano Chamber of Commerce. And he's going to be talking about Piñata Fest, which is happening this weekend, 10th through the 12th. And we'll talk all about that with Marcos. And what's up?
Just go on.
He had a big-eyed.
Yeah, go on.
Big-eyed moment.
Don't worry about my stuff. Just worry about what you're doing.
He just remembered something here. He had the look of like, uh-oh. Something just happened in my pants.
It wasn't my pants. It was,
he just had a look.
And how about that third hour, Mike? What's happening in the third hour?
Well, all right. Well, now I got to find out. I'm legitimately curious. But Marcos will join us about 9:15. We'll chat about Hispano Chamber and Piñata Fest. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news, both of the local and national variety. And Town Hall Business Update. We do have a livestock report today. They did it because of Labor Day. Today's the livestock, right?
And then tomorrow's the results.
Tomorrow's the results. So I know, like, when was our last big holiday? They just can't. Was it 4th?
I think it was the 4th. Yeah, they just didn't do it.
Yeah, this time they push it back a day. So we'll check in with Smiley as well here in just a few and get that report and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things stay dry for the next couple of days. We'll have high pressure over our area and warm downslope wind coming off the mountains. Mid-90s on our afternoon highs today and sunny. Overnight will be clear with mid-60s, and then we're in the low 90s and sunny again on Wednesday. Clear Wednesday night, mid-90s, and plenty of sunshine for Thursday and Friday. It will be a little hotter. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. I should just put on a cape. No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of holes in that cape. Currently 66 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 75%. Winds currently out of the south at 5 miles per hour. Sunny today. Expect a high of 95 with east winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 66 and east winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, sunny and 93. Winds will be out of the north at around 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 66 with east winds 5 to 10. Thursday, sunny, high of 97. South winds 5 to 15. Friday, sunny with a high right around 100. I thought we were done with 100. Guess not. And then weekend's going to be a warm one, too. Sunny and 99 Saturday. And then sunny with 93 on Sunday. So just when you thought we were done with the 100s for this year, they're going to bring us back in towards the end of this week. We'll see how it all shapes up. All right, it is 7:14. Let's go ahead and get you into your Roswell Livestock Report. We'll take a quick break. We're going to get General Murray on the phone as well. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A light run on Tuesday following Labor Day weekend and some good general rain showers in the drawing area, but a good selection of all classes of cattle, especially high quality native weaned calves and night yearlings. We expect to sell 550 head. Break it down like this: 50 to 70 weighing cows and bulls, 50 to 70 pairs bred cows, 450 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 10 pair and 10 bred cows, ex-quality 90% black Angus and Brangus cross cows, calves out of and bred to Angus bulls. These cows 3 to 8 years old. 183 calves. Kane Cattle Company, Van Horn, Texas. Excellent quality Charolais crossbred calves. Cattle weaned 60 days. 2 rounds of Bovishield Gold 7-way Ivamec, thin to medium condition, 275, 500 pounds. 26 calves, Browning Ranch, Bosque Farms, New Mexico. Ex-quality black Angus and Brangus cross calves. These are ex-ropers. Weaned, 1 round of shots, 250, 350 pounds. 32 calves, Mr. David Jones, Las Vegas, New Mexico. Ex-quality black Angus cross calves. Cattle weaned 60, 70 days. 1 round of shots, 575 pounds. Sale time this morning 9 o'clock. Sell pairs bred cows 9:30. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10. Short run of cows today, so don't be late. We expect to sell 550 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Talk about local color. Your trees are supposed to be green, not yellow. Hello, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. While we've been talking about our colorful geraniums, I've been noticing a lot of yellow trees around town, particularly those globe willows. It may come as a shock to you, but those trees are supposed to be green. If you have yellow trees, come see us at Roswell Seed Company. We have a fix that's fast and easy and doesn't cost very much. Remember, it's okay to have yellow flowers, but not yellow trees.
Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound football is back on the High Plains. Don't miss out on all the excitement of Greyhound football as the Hounds welcome in Adams State Saturday, September 11th at 6 p.m. Sponsored by Nixon Enterprises. Don't miss out as ENMU salutes America's heroes with a flyover before the game courtesy of Cannon Air Force Base. Tickets start as low as $10 for adults, and kids 8 and under are free. For more information, visit goeasternathletics.com. ENMU football, all in.
Your home is your sanctuary, and the land it's built on is even more precious. So when termites start devouring your house, you want a proven treatment that's environmentally responsible. You want the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. The Centricon system is the green way to protect homes from subterranean termites. Rather than surrounding your house with hundreds of gallons of diluted chemical solution, the Centricon system strategically uses just a few grams of active ingredient in termite bait, working with natural termite behavior to destroy termite colonies. With this technology, it's no wonder the Centricon system became the only termite treatment to receive the Presidential Green Chemistry Challenge Award from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And homeowners rate the Centricon system as the most environmentally sound termite treatment. Your home is your sanctuary, so monitor, bait, and eliminate termites with the Centricon system. Think of it as your own little piece on Earth.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today in Roswell, 623-5344, or anywhere in southeast New Mexico at 877-623-5344.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than just serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable. Serving part-time lets you attend school full-time while you take advantage of education benefits that can help you graduate debt-free. If a civilian career is your goal, serving part-time allows you to work at a full-time job. The skills, qualities, and contacts you'll develop in the Guard can open doors to a great civilian career. Want to serve but worried about being away from friends and family? Part-time service in the Army National Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want while you enjoy the many benefits of serving your community and nation. You owe it to yourself to learn more about how the Army National Guard can fit into your life. Visit nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us on the phone this morning here, Leadership Roswell Alumni Association. Of course, they have their annual awards where they recognize some great leaders in our community. And for the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, for this year's Lifetime Achievement Award winner, went to General Douglas Murray, and he is actually joining us on the phone this morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mike, and good morning to your audience. Thank you for this opportunity. I do want to say thank you to the folks out there that may be listening. I got very many nice remarks on my retirement, and I appreciate all of those. I hope to respond if I can at some point in time. And again, as you mentioned, I do appreciate what Leadership Roswell has done as well.
Well, I know the New Mexico Military Institute, and certainly the Walker Aviation Museum, and many other facets of the community that you're involved with. They're all doing fine, going well, but I know they all sure miss having you around, and we as a community sure would love to see you and your family hanging out from time to time. But we're also happy that you're off enjoying retirement and enjoying the fruits of your labor there.
Well, no, I hope so, and I appreciate your remarks as well. You know, you really take a chance when you put me on the radio because, as I am often told, as an old professor, I speak in only 50-minute periods. So you cut me off at any time, and I'll be happy to see you. So,
I have no problem with talking. I like to do that myself. So.
Well, you probably talk in 100-minute periods, right?
Yeah. I actually found somebody that's willing to pay me to do it. So.
Oh well, that's good. That's great. They don't do that for me anymore. So I have else.
Well, I know for a fact that whatever you spoke, people listened. That was always you may have a lot of words to say, but everyone wanted to hear every one of them. So.
Yep.
Well, so first off, before we talk a little bit about this, how is life retired now? It's been a few months since since you've left this area. How's retirement been for you?
Well, the bottom line, it has to be fine.
Yeah.
But it's a transformation, and it's a transition. I was mentioning to somebody the other day, every day seems like it's Saturday. And so I haven't worked out the routine yet in terms of what I will be doing. The main thing, as I've mentioned to a number of folks, why it was time to move on from Roswell. It was 15 years that I was there, fantastic 15 years. But I have 7 grandchildren. 2 of them are seniors in high school this year, and 2 are seniors in high school next year. They're getting ready for the next phase in life. And, once they leave high school, they're kind of gone.
Yeah.
And so if I don't catch them now, when do I? So that's primary number one on my list. But we're getting situated. It just takes longer than I thought. Unloading boxes, siphoning through everything that you've got to siphon through. I had a big office at NMI, and then I had a home, and I had filing cabinets in both. Well, they don't quite fit in a small home.
So you had to downsize a little bit on some of your collecting and things over the years.
Yeah, exactly the case. Well, when we moved here, my wife and when we moved to Roswell, we had 20,000 pounds of household goods. If you took one of those Allied or vans, Mayflower vans, we had the whole van filled, plus what was in behind. It had a hangover, and so we had to really downsize, and so we had a fantastic firm that put together an estate sale,
right?
And probably sold advertised in an auction, and that got 90% of what we had. But it reminded me of you mentioned retirement, because in many ways the estate sale and the retirement go hand in hand, because you're not only giving away or selling whatever, those are your memories. Those are there's a legacy involved in that.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to let go, isn't it, sometimes?
That's right.
Yeah.
But I had the thought that it's probably good that we do an estate sale of our thoughts and lives every once in a while.
Sure. That's a valid point. Yeah.
Discard some that are no longer relevant and focus on some that may lead to the future.
Sure.
So, and the company we had did a very good job as far as that's concerned. But no, to answer your question, we're getting well established here as well.
Well, that's great to hear, and great to see you getting settled in your new home there. Do you miss the day-to-day life of just being at the Institute and getting involved in the various? I mean, obviously your probably schedule has slowed down quite a bit since that time. But do you miss getting up early and going and meeting with cadets and doing your day-to-day at the Institute, or are you still enjoying the vacation side of it?
Well, I think more the latter at this point in time, but like I say, it's Saturday. But no, yes, I mean, that was such a large part of my life.
Sure.
And to some extent that does continue here. But, the 15 years at NMI was preceded by 25 years at the Air Force Academy.
Okay.
And so in many ways, it is a significant change. In fact, all those years, I wore the uniform.
Sure.
I've worn that uniform for over 50 years. It's not the same uniform, but
sure.
Uniform. And,
but a lot of the same meanings behind the uniform, even though if it wasn't, if it was a United States military uniform or a New Mexico Military Institute uniform, the values, the work ethic, everything that both represent are exactly the same, I would imagine.
No, it's true. It's true, and it's true. It's true of life in general, regardless of your vocation and your profession.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I do want to. I have a little bit of a surprise for you. It just happened to work out on timing. One of General Murray's passions while he was here in Roswell, spending time with us, was the Walker Aviation Museum, and we just happened to have Robert Sherman, who's going to be in talking about the museum a little later on in the show. And I know you and Robert Sherman have had quite a friendship over the years here, and I thought I'd bring him in for a few minutes and chit chat with you if you don't mind.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Hey, Robert, come on in. He's in the waiting room now. Have him come on in and grab a headset here. How many years were you at the Walker Aviation Museum as well while you were here?
Well, it was probably most of I'd say in the 14 years after the first year. I always kid about it because when I came in, General Griswold, actually it was Admiral Ellison, who was the superintendent, said, they are building this Walker Museum. There's never been a significant recognition, and they see you coming in. They figured that if you're a general officer, you can get us a B-52 down here. But I failed to do that. We did get a 105, and Robert can tell you all about that as well. But no, it's been a good association. It's been the bedrock of my association with the good folks in Roswell, and an opportunity and fantastic group of folks that started that organization and have really made it what it is. And Robert, of course, is at the lead of that. But to give people an understanding of exactly what the Walker experience, the time frame, and so forth, what the airfield meant then and now.
Well, I can tell you this. First thing Robert told me, he said, "I'm going to give him a hard time. He's too young to retire. He's this youngin' over here." And I got he's actually on the mic here with you. Go ahead and say hi, Rob. Say hi to Doug.
Hey, General, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. You need to tell them about the birthdays when you're talking about age.
Yeah, I told him that. That's why I call you young man, because I'm 36 hours older than you are.
No, that's right. He's the young.
So he's
certainly all I know. Certainly all I know. You'd appreciate this along the same lines. All the years I was at NMI, I was the older generation. There are a few faculty members that have been there for quite some time, though many of those have left in the 15 years, and there's some staff that have been there. But I was certainly the older generation. in that environment. Now I must tell you that I've come to Colorado Springs, and I'm in Liberty Heights, which is a retirement community, and all of a sudden I'm no longer the older generation. I think I'm the younger generation.
So I have some. My in-laws they live in a community in Tucson area, and it's very much the same way. A lot of pickleball, and they have a lot of amenities there. And they're the young spry ones now. So welcome to the neighborhood.
Well, I must tell you this story because it's a fantastic group of folks. They're a bit of a legacy of all their own. But the gentleman next door to me, he was telling me how he was drafted into the Army in 1942 and spent 27 years in the Army. I said, 1942? Yes, he said. So he's in his 90s now.
Wow.
But he's as spry as ever, and he's got some great stories to tell as well. So it's a learning experience across the table, actually.
Well, good deal. Well, hopefully you got a lot of dinners with neighbors and outings together where y'all can swap stories and be neighbors. That'd be a good thing. So I'm going to put Robert on the spot here. Is there any stories right off the top of your head that stands out about General Murray you can think of, either for Walker or anything, one of those moments, or you're just a General Murray story? Is there anything you can think of off the top of your head?
A General Murray.
Be careful now, Robert.
No, we don't have. Unfortunately, I don't have any really good stories on him. But we spent a lot of time sitting out at hole number 4 at the Nemi Golf Course, waiting for somebody to make a hole in one, and during our annual
golf scrambles
fundraiser. Yeah, right. But
I've always enjoyed the Walker Aviation Museum Golf Scramble because I always loved. I mean, we have so many great organizations in our community, and a lot of them do golf scrambles, and it's a great way to help different organizations in our community. But I always kind of, the Walker Aviation Museum, which was always on Armed Forces Day or right around there. Mm-hmm. And so there was always that vibe to it, that military tradition, honor, presence. And you guys even incorporated that even into the golfing side where, you go to golf holes and people would sponsor and put pictures and stories of their family. And so you really, it wasn't just an outing of golfing and raising money for the museum. You came out of it with an afternoon of appreciating some of our veterans and people that came before us and served. And you get those reminders while you're out there golfing and getting focused on the reason we're all whacking a ball around and having fun today. And I always love that part of the Walker Aviation Museum Golf Scramble. I don't know if that was General Murray's or yourself or whose idea to do those things and that type of stuff.
Well, Bob Donnell was a big player in that.
Yeah.
And Bob Pottle, who's passed away, but he was involved a lot with that.
Sure. I always love that facet of the golf scramble. So
right.
I imagine they're keeping that up here. Do you guys? I know General Murray, you're retired and everything now, but do you still check in from time to time with the museum board and pick their brain, or vice versa? They're picking your brain from time to time here.
I think the plan is we're going to be doing that for sure. But
okay.
Right now we're struggling just to get open, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll hit you with some of that later. But I got to ask, Jeremy, do you miss some of that stuff? Where getting to do the volunteer stuff, or are you getting to? I imagine you're still getting settled there in Colorado, but is that something you want to do once you get settled?
Oh yes. In fact, it's a continuation in many ways of what I was doing at NMI and at the Air Force Academy. I was elected to the board of the first military school in Colorado, if you exclude the Air Force Academy. And it's a school, it's a day school, but it goes K to 12. It's Colorado Military Academy.
Interesting.
And so that keeps me well informed with respect to the importance of a military school. Sometime it might be fun to do a show and talk about what military schools are about, which is all about leadership and so forth. So no, I'm involved with that. Somebody said to me, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I got to be careful because I don't think it's what I'm going to do. It's going to be people who come to me and ask me to do something for them, which I would be more than willing to do. But again, it's a setting up a new schedule. That's really the challenge.
Sure.
But just to keep active, especially with the challenges this nation faces today, like it's never faced before. So,
I've got to ask, looking back at your career, both with the Institute and the military, and just putting it all together, so many years spent molding and shaping and training and teaching leadership to young men and women for so many years, whether it was at the Institute or in the military. I got to ask you personally, what's your favorite aspect of that? Is it the moment with the whoever your student is, be it a military member or a student at the Institute? I mean, what was the part that just did it for you the most? When it comes to teaching, and was it the working with the kids? Was it something else? What was it that I guess you enjoyed the most, or the part that you got the biggest appreciation out of your time working with so many students over the years?
Well, it really is all of those things.
Yeah.
But I think if you were to look at the center of it, it's opening their minds to a world that they will go into, but not just go into it, but to become a part of it and to make a contributions to it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever read Wes Moore's book on what military school and what he learned from a military school. Mm-hmm. But it's awakening them to that reality. And let me just, I spoke at the graduation this year, and here's what I had noted this, and I thought I might bring it to your attention. If you ask me what excites me about the teaching mission, and it's this: it is the fact that you are inculcating in these young people a life that's more than for themselves. And Westmore says it's the truth that hunts us down, our common calling, that when we answer that call, we'll find that the world's challenges and our own work eventually meet. The place God calls us to is the place where our deepest gladness and the world's deepest hunger meet. To provide that perspective, and it's done in every course in different ways to encourage them to discover the world outside of themselves, but the world inside themselves as well, and to awaken in them a need, a calling to serve others. And gosh, that defines our nation from its earliest days. It defines everything that we do in the world. We don't always succeed, but we have tried. And that I think is shared by everyone who interacts with the generations coming up in their lives.
Sure. And I think and that's where I think you consider yourself very lucky, is you sat right there in the driver's seat and getting to see those moments where these students as they progress through their education and kind of have those light bulb moments where it all starts making sense. Where I just feel like military and you probably you've seen, I'm sure, this in your time and experience, but military is that very environment for me where you get to see people just change and grow, and because there's no other place on the planet where you can build that camaraderie and that and just to see that growth, and when you see a group of youth kind of go through those things together, and you see them at the beginning where they can't get out of their own way, And then you know, after just a short period of time, you're starting to see that teamwork gelling process, the understanding of the bigger picture and things. And I imagine for you as an instructor and teacher and so many years working with students, that's got to be the cool moment, the moment where it's like, hey, I wasn't spitting in the wind here. The messages started to sink in. And is that something you got to experience quite a bit in your career?
Yes, I think you do it at every level. And but you know what's kind of cool about all that? It's a two-way street, because you are growing and expanding yourself as the faculty and the staff as well. Mm-hmm. So it really does form the idea of a community that's built around mutual learning. And you know, the changes that have occurred in education and the way in which learning is portrayed and delivered is undergoing significant changes, and COVID-19 has been a major factor in that. You know, when I was growing up so long ago, some people think that I was around in 1891 when the school was founded. Not quite, but you know, if you wanted to read something, you went to this place they called the library. And if you wanted to learn something, you went to this place they called the schoolhouse. Well, you know, we were talking earlier. You don't need to do any of those things, but in that sense, there's been an enrichment of this whole learning process. And it's not just about technology, but there's cautions and there's risk and so forth. But that's all part of it. And so when that question you ask, what I've experienced and what the students experience, it's a universal experience if you're engaged in learning. Mm-hmm. And that can be in the classroom, but it can be in many other ways and in many other professions. I mean, really, you're part of that process as well, especially now with the technology and how people learn and understand the world.
Yeah, that's always been my, and I don't want to get peeling back the curtain here, but that's always been the method to my madness with this radio show. I figure I love to get great people like yourself and Robert here and let the public know what's going on and happening in their community. But if I dangle the carrot of me telling dumb jokes and things, and that's what gets you here to hear me tell stupid jokes, and then you accidentally learn about all this great stuff happening in our community, then I call that a win. That's the way I look at this show. And in many ways, education's kind of like, you know, you get them in, they got to be here, but once they're here and you got them, I mean, that's the coolest feeling in the world, I would imagine. No,
yes, it certainly is. Yeah. And it's a mutual feeling.
So I gotta ask here, as far as you know, your plans and things now. Like you said, you're getting settled here and all that. But obviously, you have lots of friends and folks back home here. Do you get is travel in the cards for your future plans as well?
Oh yes, I do hope to travel. In fact, I thought I might be in Roswell at this very date when they were talking about the good folks that for the Leadership Roswell, they were going to have an event.
Yeah, unfortunately, COVID's put a damper on a lot of that. So
yes, and again, I was also scheduled to go to Texas later this month. The Association of Military Colleges and Schools, which is all of the military schools except your federal service academies. Okay. And it includes your senior military schools like Texas A&M and Citadel, and the junior military colleges like MMI and Valley Forge. Mm-hmm. And then there's about 30 what you might call secondary education. They have a big workshop in every year in September, and they always think they're always looking for somebody on the bench, but I then have opportunity every year to put this workshop on.
Oh,
what it means, basically what we're talking about. Well, guess what? It was scheduled for next month. The end of this month. They bring in the new leadership across the country, the new leadership of military schools across the country.
Okay.
But then with this outbreak of COVID in Texas right now, they're going to do a Zoom presentation. But no, I do hope to do travel. I do hope to do some, vacation type travel and go some places that I've not had a chance to go and take the grandkids. They can help the old man up and down the steps.
That's right. Get them to work.
That's right.
You were mentioning the various, the military schools and things, and I grew up originally in the Maryland, Washington D.C. area, and but one of the things I did when I was an older teen, I was involved in scouting, Boy Scouts, and everything growing up. And I would work in a summer camp there in the summers in Virginia. And it was a summer camp that was about 15 minutes from a town called Lexington, Virginia. And as you probably know, General Murray, home of Stonewall Jackson and things like that, but also home to the Virginia Military Institute. And that was one of my first exposures of seeing what life was like at a military school and seeing what a community that supports a place like that. And that's a beautiful school. I don't know if you've ever been to that area or been to that institute, but you just, when you were talking about Citadel and some of that, it just kind of reminded me of some of those experiences. And that's a beautiful campus too. But
well, as you know, I was born and raised in New Jersey.
Okay.
And I did my undergraduate work at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So Washington, D.C. is still one of my favorite cities. And, of course, in the military, I was stationed at the Pentagon as well. So
I figured you had time in that area.
And also, as part of the Association of Military Colleges and Schools, it does bring me on some of those campuses, and VMI has been one of those. In fact, our oldest son, when he was looking at colleges, we visited the campus and got tours of the campus and so forth.
Okay.
It's an outstanding institution, as is, and as are, I should say, any of those senior military schools.
Absolutely. And that's actually very, very much a college town, Lexington, Virginia, because not only is it home to the Virginia Military Institute, but it's also home to Washington and Lee University. It's a very historic town. A couple famous Civil War generals are buried there. Robert E. Lee's there with Stonewall Jackson. Matter of fact, if I remember, is Jackson's on the VMI campus, if I remember right. I don't quote me on that. But anyway, there's a lot of history there, too. It's just a beautiful area. But you just had mentioned that, and it kind of triggered that thought in my head. Of
course, that's a wonderful part of the country. My home state of New Jersey has really been having, as New York has, it was quite startling. In fact, I was speaking to one of the members of the community here, and she mentioned that she was from New Jersey, and it was that day after the storm, and she was not aware of the damage. We have damage from hurricanes all the time. We've got to expect those. Mm-hmm. But the tornadoes brought a new dimension to all of that.
Sure.
That's a good for the country. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I just saw the time. We probably need to wrap up this conversation, and I imagine you've got some grandkids and some other things ready that need your attention right now. So.
Well, that keeps me busy. On Monday, I went to a volleyball game with one. And Tuesday, I went to a tennis match for another. Wednesday, I went to a third volleyball game. And Friday, I went to a cross-country meet. So it does keep me busy, which is great.
Good. Are you a sports fan in general?
Well, yeah.
Well, that'll make it easier for you. If you're not a sports fan, it's a little rough to go to all those things, but if you like sports.
As long as they don't ask me to come off the bench during the day.
There you go. Yeah. I think those youngins probably got the leg strength to keep it going, especially cross country. I get tired watching those kids. General, before we let you get back to, is there anything that you wanted to mention that we just skipped over or didn't get a chance to address?
No, I've enjoyed the conversation, and my appreciation to you, sir, for what you do, and for the city of Roswell, and I'm an important part of Roswell, of NMMI, and that whole community is always a part, and will always be a part of me, and I'm sincere when I say that.
Well,
And I hope that I have left something to you all that you will find of value as well.
Well,
and I could talk for hours if you like on all kinds of subjects, but I would rather just leave it at that to say, look, I love that place, and I love the folks who live there and work there. And my accomplishments, reflected in this award was a very humbling experience, but it was also very pleasing, not because of me, but because I recognize that my achievements, whatever they may be, only were the result of those with whom I worked, played, and loved over the 15 years that I was there. Those on the campus and those off the campus, those in the city. Roswell, I always said, is the real story of Roswell is not the UFOs, but it's the commitment of the people of that town to the nation and to serve the nation, beginning back with Walker. The fact that you mentioned Walker, it continues on, to this very day. It's hard. I've often said that the number of events that occur on Veterans Day in Roswell is unbelievable, but it's merely on a reflection of that community. And, I'm not running for office. Or somebody said I'm almost old enough to run for president. But,
well, I know exactly what you mean. You're right. We have a great group of people that if there's a crisis or if someone needs help, they step up and do it. And it's the same people that, like you said, we honor our veterans. And yeah, you're right. It's just our schools alone, our high schools, middle schools, and the Institute, obviously, the things they do for our veterans on Veterans Day. It is an amazing, and you're right. It's very much an indicator of the fabric of our community. And I would also say that it's that way because of people like you being a part of it. And I know you're greatly missed by my many folks here in this community, and would love to have you come in and do your thing. But also, you leave a community better off than when you came, I think, because of the actions and the things and the connections you've made here. So we're better because of you, and we do appreciate that. And don't be a stranger, because Robert said he's got a list of stuff over at the museum. He's ready for you to knock out and do all that. So.
Yeah, we really miss you here, General.
I look forward to it, and all blessings of all kinds to all of you. God bless.
Take care to yourself, too, and you and your family. Have an awesome weekend. And, General, if you're popping in for a visit, don't hesitate to come pop on the radio, too. I'd love to have a face-to-face conversation with you. Those are always fun. So.
You need to call me Doug. I'm too old.
I will do my best, but once something gets ingrained in my brain, it takes an act of Congress to get it out of there sometimes. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, and take care.
Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Robert.
See you later. Bye.
Take care. All right, that was General Douglas Murray. Doug, I can't help it. It's just the way it is. And he was or is the LRA Leadership Roswell Alumni Association's Lifetime Achievement Award winner here for this.
Well
event.
deserved.
Well deserved, and it was a beautiful. It was great. It was great to have that conversation. I hope we get to have more with him. All right, Robert, appreciate you hanging out here and talking with the General. We're going to pause for a quick commercial break and all of that. News is coming up, and then on the other side of Town Hall News and all that, we'll talk with Robert here about Walker Aviation stuff. So don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Roswell police are asking for some help in finding a missing teenager. Jada Marie Fain is 15 years old and was last seen with her family as she was dropped off for school Friday morning at Goddard High. Jada did not show up for class that day. She also uses the nickname MJ and is about 5 feet 2 inches tall and weighs 115 pounds. Jada has blue eyes and natural blonde hair that was recently dyed black, but that dye may now be fading. Anyone with information is urged to call Roswell police immediately. The latest health department stats show just 33% of residents in Eddy County are considered fully vaccinated for COVID-19. 40% of people in Eddy County have had at least one dose. That's as of August 30th. Statewide, New Mexico reported a total of just over 231,000 cases of COVID-19 since the beginning of the pandemic last year, but that's an increase of 3% in just 1 week. Statewide, the vaccine numbers are at 70% with at least one dose and 61% who are fully vaccinated. I'm Jared Cirillo.
There was a time not long ago that Apple Macs were used by only a few devoted folks. For them, it was a David versus Goliath story. Then with the appearance of the iPhone, Mac's user base exploded. For Apple, it was blue skies. But now, dark clouds are on the horizon. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. New research suggests that software developers may be losing interest in Macs. If so, the best and latest software would go to Windows-based computers. The reason? Last year, Apple made a transition from Intel processor chips to their own M1 processors. The unanticipated fallout is that software developed for Intel's processors cannot run on Apple's new M1 chip, meaning that developers must now come up with two separate versions of their programs and apps. And software development is costly. And even with Apple's popularity, there are far more Windows computers than Macs. Something to consider if you're buying a new one. Get more tech news at Commando.com. Whether you need it for work, school, or a special project, it's very important to have the right printer. The Epson EcoTank is a new type of printer that doesn't use cartridges. Stop buying expensive ink cartridges and save yourself the frustration of replacing ink cartridges ever again. The Epson EcoTank printers have supersized, easy-to-fill ink tanks, and they come with just a ridiculous amount of ink. If you're like me, you've tried rationing your printing to save yourself from replacing those expensive ink cartridges. With the Epson EcoTank, you don't have to worry about running out of ink. So start printing in color all you want. You can kiss expensive cartridges goodbye already. But hurry, because the Epson EcoTank is changing the way people print. It's flying off the shelves. I just love mine. The Epson EcoTank makes it easy. Make the switch today. Add the Epson EcoTank to your online shopping list so you can just fill and chill. Epson EcoTank printers, available at Best Buy, Office Depot, Staples, and at Epson.com/EcoTankKim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things stay dry for the next couple of days. We'll have high pressure over our area and warm downslope wind coming off the mountains. Mid-90s on our afternoon highs today and sunny. Overnight will be clear with mid-60s, and then we're in the low 90s and sunny again on Wednesday. Clear Wednesday night, mid-90s, and plenty of sunshine for Thursday and Friday. It will be a little hotter. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. Millions of jobless Americans lost their unemployment benefits on Monday, leaving only a handful of economic support programs for those who are still being hit financially by the year-and-a-half-old coronavirus pandemic. Two critical programs expired on Monday. One provided jobless aid to self-employed and gig workers, and another provided benefits to those who have been unemployed more than 6 months. Further, the Biden administration's $300 weekly supplemental unemployment benefit also ran out on Monday. Ida slammed into the Gulf Coast. Then it took its destruction to the Northeast at a time when building contractors were already grappling with severe shortages of workers and depleted supply chains. According to economists, the struggle to find enough skilled workers and materials will likely drive up costs, complicate planning, and delay reconstruction for months. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The High Caliber Summer Sale is on now at LGS Guns and Ammo. Now through Labor Day weekend, save big on guns, ammo, and everything you need. From brands like Glock, Ruger, Springfield, Smith & Wesson, Mossberg, and more. Plus, massive savings on ammo, targets, magazines, optics, and knives, and a great selection of Springfield St. Edge rifles. The High Caliber Summer Sale on now at LGS Guns and Ammo, Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammunition in Hobbs or Roswell, and at lgsguns.com. Enjoy more of the speed you need with gigabit internet from Plateau Fiber. Fiber means more speed, and that means more streaming on more devices with less buffering. Plateau offers True Gig, a dedicated fiber connection to download and upload what you want with speeds up to a gigabit per second. Best of all, it's all yours. You don't have to share your connection with the whole neighborhood. Sign up now to ensure your neighborhood is part of the next service zone. Learn more and get signed up today at plateaufiber.com. That's plateaufiber.com.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
Our partners, the Taliban. Secretary of State Blinken saying the Biden administration is working with the Taliban, setting up additional charter flights for Americans and others anxious to escape Afghanistan.
Speaking from Qatar, Blinken says the Taliban have given assurances of safe passage for all with proper travel documents, and the U.S. will hold them to that pledge.
It's my understanding that the Taliban has not denied exit to anyone holding a valid document, but they have said that those without valid documents at this point can't leave. But because all of these people are grouped together, that's meant that flights have not been allowed to go.
Blinken says he believes there are somewhere around 100 American citizens still in Afghanistan who want to leave, and the State Department is in contact with them. I'm Julie Walker.
The U.S. Naval Station at Guantanamo Bay, the site of pretrial hearings for Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 4 other men accused of plotting the 9/11 terror attacks 20 years ago. Hearings resuming this morning after an 18-month hiatus. President Biden hoping to redirect attention to his economic agenda in the coming weeks.
After dealing with chaos in Afghanistan, another COVID-19 surge, and lower than expected jobs numbers, the White House is eager to turn the page.
I think you can expect the president to be communicating over the coming weeks on a range of issues that are front and center on the minds of the American people.
President Biden hopes to refocus on infrastructure and other administration priorities, but questions and concerns about the Afghanistan withdrawal and aftermath won't be going away anytime soon. Greg Clugston, the White House.
And later today, the president will tour storm damage in parts of New Jersey and New York. Wall Street, the Dow down 207 points, the NASDAQ 7 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, Dad, what are you doing? Oh, hi, son. I thought I'd sing for the Legacy Box commercial. No, Dad, I want you to talk about Legacy Box, how it's the best way to digitize your family's home movies and photos. But there's no extra charge for singing. Thank you, but people need to understand that we can take old photos, VHS tapes, even film and transfer them to DVD, thumb drive, or a digital download. Our trained technicians digitize everything by hand right here in the U.S. Don't worry, I'll cover all that. Legacy Box, the best way to digitize home movies and photos so that they aren't lost. Proud of my son and his Legacy Box. Time's almost up. From sea to shining sea. Okay, I'll just read the rest of the ad then. Legacy Box is the best and easiest way to digitize your home movies and photos. Save 40% right now when you go to legacybox.com/lbox. That's 40% off at legacybox.com/lbox. legacybox.com/lbox.
A coalition of environmental groups urging postponement of this year's climate summit, arguing too little has been done to ensure the safety of participants amid the COVID surge.
The Climate Action Network, which includes more than 1,500 organisations in 130 countries, says there's a risk that many government delegates, civil society campaigners and journalists from developing countries may be unable to attend because of travel restrictions. The UN Climate Conference, known as COP26, is scheduled for early November in Scotland. However, the British government has quickly rejected calls for postponement, saying a recent scientific report shows the urgency for leaders to tackle the issue without further delay. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The main underground group coordinating resistance to Myanmar's military government issuing a sweeping call for a nationwide uprising. News and analysis, townhall.com. 5 federal courthouses in eastern Michigan fully reopened for the first time since COVID restrictions were imposed back in March of last year.
Lawyers, news reporters, jurors, and court spectators are now required to answer questions about their health and have their temperature checked at courthouse entrances. Masks are also being required. Courthouse employees who have not been vaccinated will be required to share the results of 2 weekly COVID-19 tests at their own expense.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Crews are still fighting windswept flames in some parts of the wildfire burning south of Lake Tahoe, but officials plan to repopulate parts of the resort community. The Caldor fire, 48% contained as of last evening, which was enough to allow residents of the city, South Lake Tahoe, to return to their homes. Once again, on Wall Street, the Dow is down 218 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to our number 2
of the Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy. It's not Monday.
Nope.
I know it feels like Monday, and you're kind of like, oh, this Monday stinks. It's not. It's Tuesday. Yeah. Welcome to Tuesday.
It's like a head start to the race.
Exactly. So now that you have this knowledge in your head, you're like, oh, you're right. Friday's one day closer. Pep your step. Put the pep in your step. It's not Monday anymore. You know, go ahead and have that second cup of coffee.
That's right.
Or third or 13th, depending on how you roll.
So that means that tomorrow will be your Tuesday. Thursday will be your Wednesday. I guess Friday will be your Friday.
Yeah.
We're just skipping over Thursday.
That's right.
Because this is going to feel like Monday.
I'm trying to think, though. Thursday's a good day to have in the week. That's your anticipation day. Your SHI Thursday.
Yeah, they're all that though.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's just how I roll.
I'm gonna skip Wednesday. That's what I'm gonna do.
Nice.
I'm not gonna have a Wednesday. I'm gonna have a Thursday.
Just throwing the hump right out the window.
That's right. Ain't got no time for that.
That's right. Level it off. I see what you did there. You're plateauing.
That's right.
Who needs a hump?
We're going right to that. So happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes.
Hope you're having a delightful day so far. We've already been fast and furious. Had an awesome conversation with General Douglas Murray. He was the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association's Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Normally the LRAA has a big banquet and we all come and eat delicious food and honor these folks, but COVID kind of put a big old wrinkle in that here this past year. So a lot of it's just been virtual and talking. So General Murray deserves a dinner in his honor, but he got me in a conversation instead.
Hey, still pretty tasty. Just chef's kiss level radio.
That's right. But if you missed any part of that, I very much recommend you go check that out, ksvptv.com or the 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall here. Robert Sherman, he actually chit-chatted a little bit in there, and thanks to his kindness, we're going to chit-chat with him this hour. He got bumped a little bit because of my shenanigans. So we're going to talk Walker Aviation Museum this hour, talking buffs, more on buffs, B-52s. Not the things you wear
I was going to say, 'cause I was a huge Survivor fan, so I was like, ooh, you guys are doing buffs now? That's awesome.
Not those bandanas
I
you wear on
want
Survivors,
one.
no. The B-52 aircraft. So we're going to chit-chat about that and Walker and all that. And, of course, give you updates on openings and always looking for volunteers. If you want to serve on any capacity with the museum, be it serving on the board or volunteering or, well, that's it. Board or volunteering. That pretty much covers it all.
Covers the gambit, yeah.
Or financial. We love financial backers, too. But we'll talk all about that with Robert here in just a few minutes. Later on this hour, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety and town hall business and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. How was your kids' Labor Day weekend?
Kids Labor Day was good. We actually, I scooped them up yesterday. It's Mom's week, but I scooped them up yesterday and took them over to the Aquatic Center, which, by the way, props to the Roswell Parks and Recreation Department and the, I got to say thanks to Grace Community Church. The event they put on yesterday at the Aquatic Center, it was their summertime kind of wrap-up thing.
Bash.
It was awesome. Went off without a hitch. They had DJ Louis Nahar out there spinning the jams.
All right.
And a packed house. It was really nice to see everybody come out one more time.
Now they just do weekends for the outfield.
So what they're going to do is they're going to do weekend. I think that they're going to do I'm pretty sure they're done with the outdoor pool.
Okay.
So what they're going to do is they're going to have weekend playtime in the indoor pool.
Okay.
That's going to continue on even through the wintertime months.
Okay.
So
dang, no polar plunges in December?
No, not so much. Not so much.
People were drunk when they thought that idea. There was alcohol involved. I know.
Well, makes you feel warmer, Stricts them blood vessels.
I suspect harder things than alcohol, too. You got to be crazy going to get in ice water and freezing cold.
Alcohol makes people do insane things. Just look at the toe. You've heard of the toe, right? Up in, I think it's Alaska.
Yeah. There's
a shot you can take where it's somebody's toe. It's like a severed, frozen toe. And it's in this shot. And the whole thing is like you have to let the toe.
You drink a drink with something.
You have to let the toe touch your lip.
What?
Yeah. No, that's a thing. That's a total thing.
How does a bar even get severed toes to do this thing? I'm pretty sure some kind of agency would have a problem with it.
It's like a frostbite thing. Hang on.
I feel like there's a lot of holes in this story.
I swear this is a thing, dude. I'm looking up. Okay.
I need some more toes for the bar.
It's called the sour toe cocktail. Okay.
This ain't real.
I swear to God, this is real.
I mean, they claim it is, but it ain't.
No, Dawson City, Yukon. Okay. It's a shot of whiskey, usually Yukon Jack, with an unusual accompaniment, a mummified human toe. Okay. In the 1920s, the rum-running Lincoln brothers, Louis and Otto, got caught in a blizzard. Louis put his foot through a patch of ice, soaked his foot. When the brothers got back to the cabin, Louis' right foot was frozen solid. To prevent gangrene, Otto used his axe to chop off Louis' toe. He placed the toe in a jar of alcohol to commemorate the event. In 1973, legend has it that Captain Dick Stevenson found the jar and the toe in a remote cabin. He came up with the idea of the Sour Toe Cocktail Club, an exclusive club with one membership requirement. In order to gain admittance to the club, potential members must drink the legendary Sour Toe Cocktail. There's just one rule. You can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but your lips must touch that gnarly toe.
Oh, so it's one toe.
Yeah.
They don't make your own drink and have like a bunch of toes in a freezer that
no, it's a toe that they keep it. They keep this toe in alcohol and they take it out.
Right, now I'm on board. I thought you could go to this bar and I wanted this drink with a gnarled up toe in it. And they got like an ice pack full of toes.
Yeah, we keep them on ice. It's fine. Every year we get a fresh shipment. Well, it's not like you're crunching down on it afterwards. I'm sure you're going to give the toe back, but your lips have to touch it if you want to join the Sour Toe Club.
Did he practice good nail hygiene?
Hard to say. Hard to say. I've seen it. It's pretty gnarly.
That's mummified, right?
It's pretty gnarly.
Now, why would you want to do this again?
Well, to join the Sour Toe Cocktail Club.
And then what happens once you're in the Sour Toe Cocktail Club?
Right there. So it's not exactly. I mean, it's. I guess he was well manicured or pedicured. I guess in this case.
Well, the alcohol over the years will definitely.
But
so do they use fresh alcohol for the drink, or you guys drink the same gnarled up alcohol?
No, I'm sure it's a fresh shot of Yukon Jack or whatever Jack Jack.
Does the toe just float in liquor when it's not?
Probably I'm probably like denatured alcohol or like formaldehyde.
Yeah,
it's like if you ever see like the jars with like human parts.
Can't imagine formaldehyde's safe to consume.
Probably, I'm sure they rinse it off first.
Oh,
thanks, guys.
Rinse the
Can
toe
you run
off
that
in
under
a
the tap
sink
real
and
quick?
I don't know. I feel like this is like a club I don't want nothing to do with.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, Robert's screaming. I'm listening to this toe talk here. I don't blame him. I'd be squirming too. It's 8:14. Let's do the weather and a quick break, and then we're going to stop talking about toes and start talking about B-52s, which is a much more fun subject. Don't go away.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things stay dry for the next couple of days. We'll have high pressure over our area and warm downslope wind coming off the mountains. Mid-90s on our afternoon highs today and sunny. Overnight will be clear with mid-60s, and then we're in the low 90s and sunny again on Wednesday. Clear Wednesday night, mid-90s, and plenty of sunshine for Thursday and Friday. It will be a little hotter. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Sometimes we put off important health needs like surgeries because, well, we worry about the pain and time needed for recovery. Dr. Paul Torres, a board-certified general surgeon, has joined Loveless Specialty Healthcare and is helping patients in the Roswell area get back to the lives they love with less pain and a faster recovery through advances in minimally invasive surgery. To find out if laparoscopic surgery is the best solution for you, call Loveless and make an appointment today at 575-625-3222.
The High Caliber Summer Sale is on now at LGS Guns and Ammo. Now through Labor Day weekend, save big on guns, ammo, and everything you need. From brands like Glock, Ruger, Springfield, Smith & Wesson, Mossberg, and more. Plus, massive savings on ammo, targets, magazines, optics, and knives, and a great selection of Springfield St. Edge rifles. The High Caliber Summer Sale on now at LGS Guns and Ammo. Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammunition in Hobbs or Roswell, and at lgsguns.com.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound football is back on the High Plains. Don't miss out on all the excitement of Greyhound football as the Hounds welcome in Adams State Saturday, September 11th at 6 p.m. Sponsored by Nixon Enterprises. Don't miss out as ENMU salutes America's heroes with a flyover before the game courtesy of Cannon Air Force Base. Tickets start as low as $10 for adults and kids 8 and under are free. For more information, visit goeasternathletics.com. ENMU football, all in.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, and Robert Sherman back with us here wearing his Walker Aviation Museum hat now. Good morning, sir. How are you
Good morning.
today?
How you doing?
Good. Well, thank you for doing that with us here. I appreciate that.
No, I really enjoy Doug Murray's a really close friend of mine. So
yeah, that's what I figured it'd be great to have. And I was like, well, let's chit chat with him. And obviously, that man's service to our community, Roswell, through the Institute, and obviously he was a very integral part in the Walker Aviation Museum and the things that's been going on there for many years. So
right.
He's
and just like we were talking before you came on, he was, in intelligence in the Air Force for a long time, and was at the Air Force Academy, and then he's here. But everything, he's just so impressive a guy, and he well deserving his award.
Well,
that he
hopefully folks got a chance to chit chat and talk with him when he lived with us here in our community and at different events and things. He, like he was talking about Veterans Day events and how there's so many here in our community. Well, guess what? He was involved with a lot of them. I don't know how many times.
Right. And like I mentioned before, we were good friends for many, many years. And then we realized that we were born about 2 days apart. And I was older, luckily. So I could call him young man.
That's right.
But anyway, so.
Well, but thank you for doing that, and
sure.
I'm sure he'll pop in from time to time and visit and talk to you guys here, and I'm sure you guys pick his brain on the phone quite a bit just to see where he can help and all that kind of stuff. But for folks that aren't familiar, the Walker Aviation Museum, unfortunately, hasn't really been open the last year and a half here because of COVID, but it is an awesome museum located there in the air terminal at the airport, and it pays homage to when the Air Force Base, Roswell Army Airfield initially, then converting to Walker Air Force Base, and it pays homage to that and the people that were here during that era, and also covers into the Cold War era, the nuclear age, and talking about the missiles and the role this area served during the Cold War as well too.
Yeah, so. A lot of people don't realize that World War II, it's kind of like way back when, but 14,000 students graduated from Roswell Army Airfield, either bombardiers or starting out at their multi-engine bomber.
Yeah,
with a 2-engine AT-11s.
Many folks served in the European and Pacific theaters. Before they were doing that, they were out here over the skies of Roswell, New Mexico, learning their craft. So,
right,
it's pretty impressive. Now, for folks who've been following our regular conversations with Robert here, we'll give you an update on everything here. But we always also spend time kind of focusing on some of the aircraft, some of the things that called Walker Air Force Base home for a time period. And so we're going to be talking. We started talking about B-52s a little bit last time. We're going to talk more about that here this time too. So all you Buff fans, listen up. There's going to be a bunch of information that's going to be right in your wheelhouse here. So.
Right.
First, give us an update on the museum here and the COVID and all that stuff right now.
Okay. Well, the COVID thing, we shut down, but then we were getting ready to open. And 29th of May, we had a flood, out at the air terminal.
Yeah.
And when I say flood, it was not huge, but it was like, I think, 1 to 2 inches.
Well, they had the problems with the dams and everything broke in the south end, and so the south end of town,
to the west of south, and it came
that
came in
town
right
got hammered.
So we got, and they had to pull everything away from the walls, and then they needed to repair, and they needed things to dry out. So this happened on the 29th of May, and about 3 weeks ago or so, it was finally repaired because they were waiting for things to dry and they had a lot of other things going on.
Sure.
So anyway, we've just started moving stuff back.
Okay.
And
do y'all fare okay from the storms this past week? Saturday, that was a doozy.
Yeah,
we got Saturday.
Every time there's a storm now, I
gets nervous.
Kind of worry about stuff. But now we're going to make sure when we put stuff back up that we don't have any things that are at floor level that could soak up stuff and cause some damage. But we're just on the verge right now. Matter of fact, when I leave here, I'm going by and get a table at Glenn Furniture, and we're going to be taking it out there. And I've already ordered a 32-inch computer screen.
Oh, nice!
And one of those tables that lift up. Did you put your screen on?
Oh, okay.
So when people walk in, we're going to have it set on the table. They can just walk up and they can lower it to whatever their position is.
Oh, okay. Like one of those stand-up desks or whatever they call them?
Yeah. I have one at my home, and I have the exact same screen, so that's why I bought the one.
So it works
It's kind of a semi-curved screen.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But we're going to have it set up, and we've been doing research. I've been doing research. We're going to be able to click on, and you can have these YouTube stuff where these guys will talk about careers or how to select the right career or the top 10 science, technology, engineering, math careers.
Gotcha. Okay.
So anyway, we're going to be putting that up, and then we're supposedly another, I think, we ordered our 2 flight simulators. That's called EduStation.
Okay.
Like education, EduStation.
Gotcha.
With a STEMpilot.com.
Okay.
The STEM Pilot. But you can look that up on YouTube. I think it's under EduStation STEM Pilot.
Okay.
And you can actually see like a 10-minute orientation, which we're going to have on that computer screen when people come in from the schools. They can we can click on that, and it'll give a 10-minute orientation of the STEM of the education station.
Okay, cool.
And then ideally, what we'd like to do is like have a group of 12 come in, and we're going to find an air crew of 3 to each flight simulator.
Oh, cool.
One will be the pilot, one will be the first officer, and then the other one's the navigator.
Nice.
And they'll run about 10 or 12-minute flight, and then they'll change positions, and then they'll change positions again. So they'll actually watch
Give them
their
a sense
buddies
of
doing stuff.
What a team concept is.
And we'll
in
do that
aircraft.
with 2 groups. So that'd be 6 folks. And the other 6 will stand in front of the stand-up screen I was just talking about and get briefings on careers or STEM careers and stuff like that.
Very nice. So very cool. So this will be fun. Obviously, learning and interactive, getting them exposed to the STEM, the flight, and all that. But at the same time, they kind of look at it like it's a game. Like
And
they
about
get to
a
play.
couple weeks from now, we're going to be installing a couple of touch screens exactly like the ones at the UFO Museum.
Okay.
Where you can walk in, if you're waiting for a flight, you can touch it, have a choice of maybe 3 subjects, and you touch it and you get a 2-minute oral briefing with some pictures of that particular subject. And we'll have 2 of those screens on the wall. So they can, people, waiting for a flight can come in and get a quick briefing on something they might be interested in.
They're
or
waiting
they
on
can
their
walk
flight
up to that stand-up computer and they can click on something that we're going to have some other stuff, like the history of the B-29, B-20, B-52, B-47s are all on YouTube.
Nice.
You can click on that and it'll go for a while. You can watch that.
So you can kind of learn the history of all the different
Or we may
aircrafts.
just click on, some of them are longer, and we can just click it on and let it run.
Sure.
When people walking in, oh, wow, what's going on?
Catch it in the middle there like a loop or something.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. That's great. And I think folks are really going to enjoy some of this new stuff that's coming in. Any timetable on when you guys will be able to open again, you think, here, or is it still up in the air with
we're aiming
COVID?
for, because of the flight simulators coming in the latter part of October.
Okay.
And
so
we're getting this other stuff set up now, and the flight and the touch screens are supposed to be here, and working with Jason Penn's electrician to get that installed for us, maybe in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, cool.
But we'd like to get it open and, and get things rearranged. We're kind of doing that right now. As a matter of fact, I went out yesterday and I was trying to move the big old metal desk that was sitting there. Holy Toledo. That is one heavy desk.
They make them stronger back in the day than current.
So I took everything out of the drawers, and I think, okay, I'll just flip it up and put it on this cart, and I'll wheel it over to the other side of the. And I'm thinking, seriously, it was like at least a 300-pound desk or something.
Yeah.
So I said, I guess I'll wait till my buddy Bob Donnell gets out there, and we'll move it. We're going to do that this afternoon.
That might be a 2-person.
Yeah, that might be. So we're trying to get stuff rearranged. We still have like 4, 5, or 6 mannequins with different uniforms, but we're going to try to get upgraded on our display cases. And there's a couple display things that we're probably going to get rid of because it's kind of a redundant thing, and we have a kind of limited wall space. So
sure,
we're trying to get that going, and we've turned our little storeroom that was just full of junk. We've now put that in our U-Haul place down there where the old Kmart used to be.
Okay, and the storage facility.
Yeah, nice storage facility there, and we're going to make that little storage room into a Atlas launch silo control room.
Oh, cool.
Type thing,
That'll be cool.
With a bunch of the pictures of the Atlas all inside that particular room.
Nice.
And that's kind of gives space in where we can put the flight simulators where the other Atlas stuff used to be. So.
Very cool.
So we're doing a little shifting around.
Nice. Did curious, and this is a little history because like I said, I got to tour the Titan missile site here in Phoenix or Tucson. I'm sorry, a couple months ago. Did they use a similar system for launching the Atlas that they did the Minutemen, the key code systems, and was that done the same way? Do you know? Or?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
actually.
I'm kind of.
You probably need to get somebody that was actually
work nukes and did
I visited my last 3 years in the Air Force. I was at Malmstrom Air Force Base, and
I
was a clinic commander there. But I got in their vehicles and went out to the silos many times, and was out there for all day. And it's pretty amazing that the Minuteman silo setup.
Well, if you want to actually, it's not a bad representation of how they do the nukes and all that when they launch. There's a movie that actually doesn't do too bad of a job of explaining that after watching the Titan seal. It's if you ever watched that Navy movie Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington, it came out, I want to say early 2000s. Gene Hackman stars in it, and basically I think it's a fictitious incident where basically they get a launch to launch nukes, and the XO is saying that it's a training thing, it's not real, the communications get cut off, so they're in the middle of the ocean deciding whether their action message to launch their nukes was real or not. And so that's the whole debate of the movie. But they go through the whole process of how to authenticate codes and how to put all that. And after watching the movie and then going to the Titan missile site, and they explained how all that, it's pretty close. There's a few differences and variables and things probably for security, but how they do the nuke codes and all that stuff, that movie portrayed it pretty accurate as far as how it's done in the side, or at least how it's done in the Titan silo. I was just curious if, and I'm sure it is probably very similar in those Atlas silos. They did. I mean, they probably turned different buttons and switches, but as far as the procedures on how to get from point A to point B are probably pretty similar.
Yeah.
So
probably a major difference though if it was a liquid fuel, which the Atlas was.
That's true.
Versus the solid fuel.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's some more safety issues that different.
I think one of the problems with Atlas, they had to raise it up, and then they had to fuel it up while it was kind of exposed before they could launch it. Yeah.
Whereas those Titans, that was all in the hole and
just
fueled and launched
fired
and
off and boom out of the hole.
Yeah, makes sense. But it's cool. If you ever get a chance to go tour stuff like that, please do. And I'm excited to see when the Atlas missile control room gets set up and things like that. That'll be really cool. So things for you to look forward to in the future there at the Walker Aviation.
Yeah, and we hope to be coordinating. And I apologize. We need to talk to Roswell Independent School District and Gateway and Catholic School, and there's an organization that deals with homeschooling.
Okay.
And we talked to the Assurance Home, but they go to other schools, but they're going to come out as a group, get them out to the flight simulator and STEM stuff. So
cool.
And really try to help encourage these kids and maybe coordinate with the STEM coordinator out at the Eastern New Mexico University Roswell and with Ruben Bolaños. He's I don't know exactly how much he's still involved with the STEM, but he was starting out as a STEM point of contact for Roswell Independent School District.
Gotcha.
So we need to coordinate with them and see how in the future we can break away maybe, we'll decide on the number, but how to get kids out there and back.
Yeah.
And
by the way, if there's people listening, they're like, man, I'd love to get involved with this stuff. And Walker Aviation Museum is looking for more volunteers, looking for more board members,
absolutely,
looking for more
that's
people,
a big thing. Yes.
More people to come and serve and help and be a part of it. The only requirement for you is desire to do it. Sure, if you've got an aviation or background like that, and you want to be a part of it. I think most people have some kind of connection. That's what's drawn to them. But if you just love airplanes, or maybe your dad was in the military, or your mom, or you know what I mean?
Maybe you're a retired microbiologist that used to work at Leprino. Get yourself out there.
Exactly.
We'd love to have you as a STEM type instructor.
And that's the thing is that as a whole, the museum and the board want to incorporate much more STEM related features and exhibits. They've been going that direction for several years now. They've added quite a few pieces and things. So if you have an expertise in that STEM side, that your contribution would be very valuable to the museum as well too. And so if you just want to be a docent when it opens up, or want to volunteer in that way, please. They're looking for everybody to come to come get involved, roll up your sleeves, and come be a part of it. The museum, unfortunately, COVID has put a beating on being open and everything else, and just when you think you get all the ducks in a row, they dump a bunch of water on you, and then you got to start over again. So it's pardon the pun, but it's rained and poured on the museum the last 2 years here, and despite all of that, the volunteers, the people, very much like Robert and Juliana and Bob and Doug Murray and everyone and many other people I'm missing here.
Yeah.
They're in a much better place today, despite the obstacles thrown at them to keep this museum going. So we need fresh faces, young blood to come in here and help serve on the board, help bring your ideas to the table. Maybe Robert and Bob and Juliana, they haven't thought of some of these things yet, and you can come in and help with this stuff. So,
right.
So if you love history, if you love aviation, you just love STEM, you just love what the museum's all about, please come and be a part of it. That would be a great way to support and show your support for.
Yeah, a few years ago when I first joined the group, and we had about, I don't know, I think like it's about 15, 20 people on the board, and now I got myself and Katie Yates as our treasurer. She's great, and Sandy Correa, secretary, and Bob Donnell, Julianne Halverson. We talked about her, and Judy Armstrong. She's been around a major Roswell person for years.
Yeah.
And Jerry Cloffer was at the Institute, working with the library and stuff. But and Friar Jodek Norwaki from the Catholic Church here. He's great. So those are our 8 people we have right now. But we're looking for
more. So
looking for more.
Reach out, call. Couple different ways to reach out to the museum. You can go to the website. It's www.wafbmuseum.org.
Right.
It stands for Walker Air Force Base Museum. www.wafbmuseum.org. That's the website there. You can learn about everything. If you'd like to make a donation, monetary helps too.
Yes.
If you'd like to cut a big fat check, we'd love to have that. Again, you'll find a link to donate direct through the website, hours, things. Also, don't forget, Walker Aviation Museum has a Facebook page, too. If you can like and follow, stay up to date. I know when we have our visits from some of our military squadrons that come in doing training, and you guys turn that into
the
an opportunity.
KC-135s come in here.
Just had one of those a couple weeks ago happen, and you get to learn about those events. And, of course, if you have questions or want to volunteer, or if you want to, book a private tour or any of these kind of things, you can do that through the Facebook page as well, too. A good way to get connected.
Yeah, we're talking about all this stuff about the flight simulators. Shame on me, I should have mentioned it at the very, very beginning, but that was due to a $10,000 grant we got from Excel Energy.
Yeah, Excel is, again, like I don't know how many times there's organizations in our community and that have a great event or something that happens, and then there's Excel Energy right there to help sponsor, make it happen. First thing off the top of my head is the Christmas lights you see downtown. Excel's all part of that. But here we go again. Excel's right there helping with the STEM side of things, making the next generation of people that, who knows, might end up engineers at Excel Energy.
Yeah. And, Doug Murray, when he left, he'll probably get mad at me for saying this, but I won't tell you how many thousands of dollars check he wrote us, but we were able to buy a lot of stuff like our computers and stuff. And so,
that's the
very generous general.
That's the part I think a lot of people don't realize with the volunteers and they donate of their time and things too, but after they're done working an 8-hour day for the museum, they'll go around and cut a check for a couple $100 or whatever to cover cost for things. That's just the caliber of people that are involved in this, and just good people. And if you'd love to come and be a part of that and help keep these things going, this is to me, things like the Historical Society, the museum, these are integral parts in basically teaching our next generations on how to keep what our traditions, our values, the things that we as Americans hold important, and people in our communities here, the things we deem important, how to preserve that, how to ensure that its legacy continues. It's supporting things like the Walker Aviation Museum, the Historical Society, places that their whole job is to educate and preserve. And that's, to me, a great thing. So if you can do that, please.
In the past, AirSail was a big supporter of us. And, this is going to start up again, but Roswell Toyota was key, XL Energy, and Pioneer Bank, Featherstone Development, and a lot of individual, like Dr. Phil Cathy and Dr. Paul Engstrom and other individuals, Lloyd Hughes and other folks out there have dropped money on us and
just staples
kept our doors open and been able to get stuff and upgrade things. So
well, thank you to all those people, and thank you to those that are going to continue to keep doing that. Again, wafbmuseum.org is the website. Follow Walker Air Force Base on Facebook too. You can get connected there.
You want a quick little history brief on the Buff?
Yeah, let's talk a little Buff. I was kind of getting all that done so we can set up some time here to talk B-52 as well.
Yeah.
Now, for folks that don't know, this is one of the aircraft, one of many, that called Walker Air Force Base Museum home. How long was do you know off the top of the buff serve at Roswell?
Yeah, it was here just, I think, in starting around 1957, 58, and it was here, of course, till closures.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be around for another, we were just talking about before we came on the air, till you and
20,
I are probably
years,
passed away about another 30 years at least.
And if I remember right, I think they started taking in the U.S. inventory in 1952, I believe. I believe that's when they started incorporating those into the U.S. arsenal there, I think.
Well, pretty close. I think
it's, give or take a year, but it's right around that time.
Yeah, I think the first one was on last time we talked about, there's 3 B-52A models in 1954.
54, okay.
Yeah, and the rollout of the first aircraft was 18 March 1954.
54,
so
okay.
Amazing. Here we are.
And
almost 70 years later. And
I'm sure it was probably in the YB stage in 52 or whatever.
Yeah. They started working on it way back.
Oh, yeah.
Right toward the end of the World War II. So.
Well, and it was as you and I were talking last time, that era of bomber aircraft was kind of fast and furious, because that was really when the Cold War was starting to ramp up. And so they kept trying to get an aircraft that would meet the needs of the Cold War, how to get a bomber around the world, with a payload to do what it's doing in a short amount of time. And so there were certain models of aircraft that was doing it. The B-52 is kind of I'm guessing the one that kind of won at the end of the day, got the job, done.
Yeah.
And now here it is, 50 years later, still part of our inventory.
The date you gave initially, there was Boeing was awarded a contract to build 13 B-52A models on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, 1951.
51, okay.
Yeah. And that was like about a month before my wife was born.
Very good.
So, I mean, it's kind of like, wow,
that's 2 years. My dad was born in 53, so he was just right there.
Right. So, anyway, right now, we talked about last time, we talked about the developmental history of the B-52. So, I thought this time we say, okay, now the B-52s are just now, being put like at Walker Air Force Base or other locations. What was the initial strategy in the use of the B-52 in the Cold War? Well, you have to remember that in the late 50s and early 60s, there were no Minuteman missiles scattered all over the place and Polaris submarines that if the Russians did something, we just push a button and we could respond.
The new payload was being delivered via aircraft.
Yeah. It was basically the nuclear response would be from aircraft.
Well, if you think about it, when in World War II when we bombed Japan just a few years earlier, those were the only 2 bombs in existence at the time.
Right.
Fat Boy and Little Man there were the only 2. Now, once the B-52 came into service, there was a lot more than that. But for the most part, that was the style of nukes we had, the Fat Man and Little Boy. That was the ICBMs didn't come till a little later.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, let me run through this right quick. The B-52 entered the Air Force initially and was deployed around to 11 Air Force bases with 3 squadrons of 15 aircraft each for a total of about 45 aircraft. Okay. So, but as international tensions started to rise and the threat of the Soviet ICBMs increased, they were dispersed to more bases in smaller groups.
Okay.
To kind of spread them out to reduce the chance of being destroyed on the ground from a first strike. And this is because the Soviets had ICBMs.
Mm-hmm.
And, the B-52 needed to be launched very quickly in case of a threat, obviously. And initially, the 8 B-52 engines had to be started one at a time.
Oof.
So that took time.
Yeah, that's valuable seconds of that airplane.
Had to be started individually.
Yeah.
And then they corrected this by fitting cartridge starters to each engine so that all 8 could be started simultaneously.
Oh, wow.
So that's what saved a lot, trying to cut down alert versus airborne.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I remember being out at a survey crew as a high school. I think I was a senior or something working in the summertime, and they were at the B-52s out there, and they had the alert, and they would take off because, it'd say, okay, you're incoming attack, and if they didn't have every last airplane off the ground that was supposed to be on alert, within 15 minutes, they were in deep trouble.
Yeah.
So and boy, I talk about the black smoke. It was everywhere. It was crazy.
So that was part of their training regime.
Right.
Get them up and ready in 50.
Okay. So initially, the crews on standby were in their squadrons and offices, some distance away from the aircraft. Then they realized, well, that's not going to work. So they moved them out. So they had like an alert facility out where the aircraft were located.
Okay.
So they could get off the ground in 15 minutes. Now, initially, the ballistic missile early warning system could only give a 4-minute warning of incoming Soviet ballistic missiles.
Okay.
Initially, because the technology wasn't that good, didn't have satellite net.
Sure, radar was infancy at that
point.
point.
Okay, incoming missiles, they'll be here in 4 minutes. Well, 15-minute launch time.
You do that, man.
That's not going to work.
That's about 11 minutes too slow.
So senior officers raised the concerns in keeping the aircraft on the ground presented an easy target for a first strike, and they're worried about a first strike from the Soviet Union. So the SAC commander, General Thomas Power, decided he needed a number of B-52s to be airborne 24 hours a day to reduce the risk of the bombers being destroyed during a.
So basically, they had to fly missions to fly around just in case.
So the hard part was selling the idea of the airborne bombers to the American government and the American people, because they're going to be carrying 3 to 4 nuclear weapons with them as they're flying around. Okay, this would ensure that at least a small number of B-52 would survive.
Yeah,
a retaliatory attack. Okay,
and I'm sure they had procedures in place, but for anybody that's, and this is what I did in the Air Force, so it's a little bit my world. The protocols and anything when you're working around nukes is insane. They have what's called no lone zones, like you can't be with the aircraft and the nuke by yourself. There's always got to be 2 people. They got to be in constant sight. There's like you get input in the program, you got to get permission to take an aspirin. It gets that bad and into that program. So I'm sure it wasn't that way in this time period because it was in the infancy of it, but that's where they got to, and so those protocols and things, it's pretty cool that the way they established all that stuff.
So in order to provide a retaliatory attack, so that if Soviets attacked us with their missiles, we would have a certain number of B-52s airborne that could strike the Soviet Union and cause devastation. So gaining permission from the Canadian, several things had to happen before they could do this. They had to gain permission from the Canadian authorities for necessary overflights of Canadian territory. More than 12 aircraft airborne at any one time, no more than. So they had a limit of 12 aircraft airborne at any one time, and probably carrying about 3 to 4, so it could be as many as 48 nuclear weapons. No direct flight. When you're doing this airborne stuff, nobody's going to fly directly toward the Soviet Union or directly toward People's Republic of China, because we didn't want to scare them into thinking, we're being attacked. So.
Sure. We don't want to raise any eyebrows.
And no exercises carrying live nuclear weapons, because there'd be enough flying around with those 12 aircraft.
Sure. Well, anytime there's an exercise, they're pushing the limits of it. Last thing you want to do is have a plane crash with a nuke sit inside of it. So makes sense.
So each of the B-52s were carrying 3 to 4 nuclear weapons, and they had code names called Chrome Dome, Hardhead, Giant Lance, Round Robin, Butter Knife 5, and Head Start. These were all allocated to a specific period of operations and allocated a particular mission or a series of missions. And at the time these missions began, the communication between the ballistic missile warning system and SAC was not very reliable. Every once in a while, they'd be the ballistic missile warning system would fail, and the thing would go down, and you're thinking, oh my gosh,
now what?
Maybe it was hit by the first attack from the Russians, so we better go, resulting in a full attack against the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So to overcome this danger, one of the missions, called the Hardhead, was a B-52 orbiting within sight of the ballistic missile early warning system at Thule, Greenland, to say, the communication went down, but guess what? There's no atomic cloud over the thing, so it was probably a fuse that blew out. Okay,
they're the cloud checkers.
Yeah. So the Chrome Dome missions involved B-52s flying one of 4 sortie profiles, and this is what ended up here. The northern sector, a large box pattern flown around Canada. Okay, and here they are with their 4 atomic bombs. They're making big circuits around Canada, waiting for. We're being attacked, and they have air refueling going on, of course.
Yes.
So they could keep going.
Yeah.
And then they could take off and go toward the Soviet Union if we were attacked by missiles. Western sector flying north to Alaska, the southern sector flying south from the United States across the Atlantic and across the Mediterranean.
Interesting.
And monitor sector. The fourth one was flying in orbit near the ballistic missile early warning system in Thule, Greenland. Just make sure that if the communication went out, then
keep an eye
they
on
could say,
it.
"Yeah, things are cool. Don't get too
So that
excited."
was the redundancy the military created there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So anyway, and then there's a lot of stories about that southern sector. They had a B-52 crash, and it blew up, but the explosives around the bomb blew up, but the atomic nuclear stuff did not happen. But it blew plutonium and stuff all over the countryside in Spain. So after that happened, we no longer flew the southern sector because of they had to go in there and haul out thousands and thousands of tons of soil back to the United States that was contaminated with plutonium in Spain, and that didn't make Spain too happy. And
I'm sure.
And the political thing kind of blew up on that. So anyway, there's a lot of history and background of that. So
interesting.
But then eventually along came the Polaris submarines that they're out there, and if we were attacked, they could respond.
Yeah, I imagine the nuclear ballistic subs probably changed the game very much.
Big
so,
time, right.
As far as the airplane's role in the nuclear. Now, I would think, to be honest, if we have a nuclear war, there's probably not one airplane that's needed for any of that. It's all done either by missile or via submarine, via ICBM or submarine. But if they want to do a tactical strike, guess who they're calling? The airplane. That's going to be like if they want to do another Japan, basically, it's going to be the U.S. Air Force that takes care of that. So,
all right.
Interesting. I just saw the time. We probably need to wrap things up.
Better
here.
wrap it up.
Again, folks, if you want to, if you want to learn, hear some more of these stories and stuff, get a hold of Robert and volunteer at the museum. He'll share them with you while you're moving desks around. But
there you go.
That's one way.
We got plenty of work to do out there.
But seriously, if you'd love to get involved, if you're listening to this, man, I love military, I love aircrafts, I love all this stuff. I'd love to be a part of that. Please come volunteer with the with the Walker Aviation Museum. Both of them, they both need your help.
Yeah, right.
But it's great to see that you can come in. Like you said, with the STEM stuff going on, we really could use some more volunteers that are STEM experts. So if you're science teachers, math teachers out there that would love to get involved here, please, I'd love to have you serve on our board. We need more fresh ideas, fresh faces to come in and help execute the plan for the next 10, 20 years for the Walker Air Force Base Museum.
Right.
WAFBmuseum.org is the website. Or find Walker Air Force Base Museum on Facebook as well. Like and follow.
Yeah, we're in the air terminal as you come in the north door on the right side.
Yes, and hopefully, knocking on the wood here, hopefully within the coming months here, we'll have the doors open and you can come on in like the old days and just come sightsee.
Yeah, hopefully in the coming weeks, maybe so. But
yes,
we're really trying to get it by October, get the doors open at least, and coordinating, getting the kids start coming through there maybe latter part of October, early November, hopefully.
Yeah. Absolutely. And folks, if you're listening to this and if you're youth groups and things and you're hearing about like, oh yeah, I hear they're, the kids, if you're like, hey, I got a youth group that would love to reach out to the museum, get on their radar and they'll get you incorporated and help because that's part of the,
once they go through that control thing with the flight simulators, they can come on out and visit us anytime and just get on there and do their thing.
Nice. Very good. So,
because we're not talking about tours coming in every day. They're going to be coming in
especially
maybe
right now,
once a week or twice a week or something.
Now, maybe if, this thing works out, we got tours coming in all the time. But until we get there, we're here. So.
Right.
Awesome. WAFBmuseum.org. And folks, if you'd like to contribute financially, that's a great way to do that too. You'll find a link right there at the website. So, Robert, as always, thank you for hanging out early, coming in and hanging out with Doug and talking with Doug Murray with us.
Doug's my buddy. I'm glad to hear from him.
And hopefully maybe you can convince him when he's in town to come visit. Maybe you can bring him with you and we'll all chit chat in person. Just shoot the bull for a little bit. It'd be kind of fun.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Have a wonderful week and we'll see you next time. Okay.
Next time. Okay.
All right. Take care. It is 8:53. Let's go ahead and pause for local news, weather, and your town hall business update, and a couple commercials just to pay for my lunch. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Roswell police are asking for some help in finding a missing teenager. Jada Marie Fain is 15 years old and was last seen with her family as she was dropped off for school Friday morning at Goddard High. Jada did not show up for class that day. She also uses the nickname MJ and is about 5 feet 2 inches tall and weighs 115 pounds. Jada has blue eyes and natural blonde hair that was recently dyed black, but that dye may now be fading. Anyone with information is urged to call Roswell Police immediately. The latest health department stats show just 33% of residents in Eddy County are considered fully vaccinated for COVID-19. 40% of people in Eddy County have had at least one dose. That's as of August 30th. Statewide, New Mexico reported a total of just over 231,000 cases of COVID-19 since the beginning of the pandemic last year, but that's an increase of 3% in just 1 week. Statewide, the vaccine numbers are at 70% with at least one dose and 61% who are fully vaccinated. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things stay dry for the next couple of days. We'll have high pressure over our area and warm downslope wind coming off the mountains. Mid-90s on our afternoon highs today and sunny. Overnight will be clear with mid-60s, and then we're in the low 90s and sunny again on Wednesday. Clear Wednesday night, mid-90s, and plenty of sunshine for Thursday and Friday. It will be a little hotter. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. Millions of jobless Americans lost their unemployment benefits on Monday, leaving only a handful of economic support programs for those who are still being hit financially by the year-and-a-half-old coronavirus pandemic. 2 critical programs expired on Monday. One provided jobless aid to self-employed and gig workers, and another provided benefits to those who have been unemployed more than 6 months. Further, the Biden administration's $300 weekly supplemental unemployment benefit also ran out on Monday. Ida slammed into the Gulf Coast. Then it took its destruction to the Northeast at a time when building contractors were already grappling with severe shortages of workers and depleted supply chains. According to economists, the struggle to find enough skilled workers and materials will likely drive up costs, complicate planning, and delay reconstruction for months. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Celebrate the beauty of the Southwest during Yucca Blossom Trade Days, September 18th and 19th at the Eddy County Fairgrounds in Artesia. 2 great days with more than 50 local crafters, artists, and artisans showing and sharing their amazing works. Plus, fun for the whole family, including Zia axe throwing, a cornhole tournament, the Moose Caboose, Mechanical Bull, Gyro, and the famous Runyon Ranch Petting Zoo. And enter the raffle for your chance to win the drawing live on 92.9 The Brand Sunday afternoon. Yucca Blossom Trade Days, September 18th and 19th at the Fairgrounds in Artesia.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than just serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable. Serving part-time lets you attend school full-time while you take advantage of education benefits that can help you graduate debt-free. If a civilian career is your goal, serving part-time allows you to work at a full-time job. The skills, qualities, and contacts you'll develop in the Guard can open doors to a great civilian career. Want to serve but worried about being away from friends and family? Part-time service in the Army National Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want while you enjoy the many benefits of serving your community and nation. You owe it to yourself to learn more about how the Army National Guard can fit into your life. Visit NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound football is back on the High Plains. Don't miss out on all the excitement of Greyhound football as the Hounds welcome in Adams State Saturday, September 11th at 6 p.m. Sponsored by Nixon Enterprises. Don't miss out as ENMU salutes America's heroes with a flyover before the game courtesy of Cannon Air Force Base. Tickets start as low as $10 for adults and kids 8 and under are free. For more information, visit goeasternathletics.com. ENMU football, all in.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:58. Stay tuned next hour here about 9:15 or so. We're going to have Marcos Nava from the Roswell Hispano Chamber join us talking about Piñata Fest, which is happening this weekend, the 10th through the 12th. We'll talk all about that with them. And I had something weird, and I'm trying to. This happened to me last hour, and I don't know. I got a text thing that showed up like I wrote it. Recovery doc. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. I think I just realized what's going on. I think somehow my text opened up to do video recording. And I think it recorded a combination of computer commercials playing on the radio in the background and my talk, because I'm seeing stuff from Oasis Computers, Dr. Paul Torres, and LGS Guns. And it was like this copy and a text. And I'm like, what is all it was? And so I think now I just figured out what was going on. My text was doing a voice text, and it just recorded a minute or two of audio that it was picking up into text, and it was the commercials it was hearing on the radio, and put it in a text. I'm like, where did this come from? And I'm not sending this. I just figured out, and I've been trying to figure out where this came from. Now I have. I feel better. That's a big one. All right, it's 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Unrest in the streets of Kabul. The Taliban firing into the air to scatter those protesters, arrested several journalists along the way. The second time in less than a week, the group has used heavy-handed tactics to break up a demonstration in the Afghan capital. This time, the protesters had gathered outside the Pakistani embassy, accusing Islamabad of aiding the Taliban assault on northern Panjshir province. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. is partnering with the Taliban on arranging additional charter flights from Kabul for those anxious and eligible to escape Afghanistan.
They said that they will let people with travel documents freely depart. We will hold them to that. So will dozens of other countries. The international community is watching to see if the Taliban will live up to their commitments.
President Biden to get an up-close look at storm damage in parts of the Northeast that suffered catastrophic flooding from the remains of Hurricane Ida.
Biden starts out in New Jersey around noon, where he'll get a briefing in Hillsborough Township before touring Manville. Then it's on to New York's borough of Queens for another tour around 4. At least 50 people were killed in 6 eastern states as record rainfall last week overwhelmed rivers and sewer systems. Some people were trapped in fast-filling basement apartments and cars or were swept away as they tried to escape. The storm also spawned several tornadoes.
Correspondent Julie Walker. A milestone in the battle against the massive Caldor wildfire threatening Northern California's Lake Tahoe area. Mandatory evacuation orders lifted for 22,000 residents of South Lake Tahoe. The fire still burning is now roughly 48% contained. Wall Street, the Dow down 259 points, the NASDAQ 17 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Right now, people are home with their pets more often, and I think especially with the shedding, they're more cognizant of what's going on and that it's an actual issue.
Nala's got some skin issues. He gets really going and scratching.
Excessive shedding, a lot of just scratching and itching.
Digging, scratching, and itching and biting. On top of that, he was starting to get black buildup in his ears.
DINOVITE.com.
I just heard the Dynovite commercial so many times that I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And I ordered it and tried it, and it worked.
We started Dynovite, and in our first stock, we noticed a difference, especially with the shedding.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
We've got 4 dogs, all different ages, all different sizes, and they've all just responded really well to the Dynovite, and they all love it.
We will be using Dynovite for life.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
We order our Dynovite from Dynovite.com. DINOVITE.com.
China's import and export growth picked up last month despite disruptions because of the spread of the coronavirus Delta variant.
Customs data show exports rose 25.6% to $294.3 billion, up from July's 18.9% growth. Imports rose 33.1% to $236 billion, up from the previous month's 28.7%. That came despite lingering disruptions in industrial supply chains due to last year's global economic shutdown and a renewed rise in infections in the U.S. and some other markets that have dampened consumer sentiment.
Correspondent Jeremy House. The UK government opening public hearings into plans for the country's first new deep coal mine in 3 decades, amid complaints that greenlighting the project would send the wrong message as the government seeks to persuade other countries to give up coal. News and analysis at townhall.com. President Biden's approval numbers have taken a hit. Blame it on Afghanistan and spread of COVID-19.
After enjoying approval ratings in the 50s during his first few months in office, the president has seen his numbers drop in recent weeks. The Real Clear Politics average of surveys shows 49% of Americans disapprove of Mr. Biden's job performance, while 45% approve. The messy exit from Afghanistan was not received well, and a Washington Post ABC News poll also shows the president losing support for his handling of the pandemic and the economy. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Israel's military says it has launched airstrikes on what it says was a Hamas military site in the Gaza Strip. The strikes early today came after incendiary balloons were sent into Israeli territory. Once again, on Wall Street this hour, the Dow is off sharply, down 280 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy, feels like Monday.
Yep.
But it's Tuesday.
It's technically Monday's slightly hotter younger sister.
That's right. So happy first back day to work for most.
That's right.
For those that didn't enjoy a 3-day weekend, well, hopefully maybe you're enjoying downtime now while we all hit the salt mines.
I think we should destigmatize Monday and start saying, oh, it sounds like somebody's having a case of the Tuesdays.
Yeah, I don't like Monday as an action or a feeling.
Yeah. Monday shouldn't be a feeling. Monday is an emotion. Monday is a mood.
Yeah. But
if you want to sound like the kids, Monday is such a mood.
It's Garfield's fault.
It is. Totally Garfield. That poor cat.
That cat caused it all. His fault.
Bill Murray, still to this day, regrets doing the voice of Garfield in those movies. He said it was the worst thing he ever did. He would go back and not do it again if he could.
Really?
He admitted so much in the movie Zombieland.
Oh, I remember.
He said, do you have any regrets? He goes, maybe Garfield.
Of course, you don't know when he's serious or when he's joking.
No, that actually came out in an interview. He hated that whole experience.
Huh.
He's like, and he feels like he was kind of selling himself short as an actor. Which, I mean, if you look at some of the stuff he did later in life, Life Aquatic, a lot of the Tenenbaums.
That one with the elephant?
Yeah, that.
Dumbo Drop or something? Was that him?
No, Dumbo? No,
he did a different one with an elephant.
Yeah, no, his was
Yeah, I'm thinking of the.
I do remember the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
But Bill Murray he turned very avant-garde, very artsy later in life.
Well, that all started with when he got the Oscar nod for the what's her name's daughter, Sophia. What was that movie? Not Waiting.
Sophia Coppola.
What was that movie he did with Scarlett Johansson, and it was like a comedy, but more of a drama.
Yeah.
That was the one that kind of changed all that. And he got nominated. Everyone took him as a big deal after that movie.
It's one of those where it's like, I mean, I know that people say if you can do a comedy, that you can do drama, but that comedy is actually the harder thing to do. But I argue I have a hard time when I hear, like, you know, comedic actors going serious.
When you're established and you know, oh, this movie's got Bill Murray in it, it's going to be funny.
Right.
And then it's not funny, that's kind of a disappointment.
It's like when 1 Hour Photo came out with Robin Williams. It's just kind of like, I mean, I know what he was going for.
But by then, I think we were well aware that Williams was doing, because, I mean, that was well past the Good Will Hunting stage.
Yeah.
Oscars.
That's true.
At that
but
point.
even Good Will Hunting, I mean, if you look at his performance in Good Will Hunting, it was still like a very comedic delivery. Like, that was right in that realm of like that and Patch Adams.
Yeah.
When he was like the comedy with heart, you know? All right, let me see. Go back here real quick.
Well, Good Will Hunting, I mean, that's not a comedy. I mean, he's...
No, Good Will Hunting's not a comedy, but his part in it, or at least parts of it.
And even Patch Adams, I wouldn't call a comedy. It's a drama with comedic elements. You know, I mean, it's a story about a hospital and creating, this hospital for patients, basically, and sticking it to the man, and by golly, we're helping people. That was the whole point of the movie. You know.
Well, he was in. Okay, so it looks like the big change happened in like the late '90s because he was in a movie called The Man Who Knew Too Little, which was a comedy, obviously. Stories from My Childhood, another comedy. Wild Things with obviously the Nev Campbell and Kevin Bacon vehicle. Rushmore. It looks like the movie that kind of like he made the turn was Rushmore.
Oh, I was thinking it was that movie he got famous. Like he got the Oscar nods for the.
Well, let's see.
It's got Scarlett Johansson in it.
Is it Tenenbaums?
No.
Okay. Lost in Translation.
Lost in Translation.
Well, that was 03. That was 03, but he really he took the turn towards like that era. I'm trying to think of the guy who directed Tenenbaums. That Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
So when he started doing the Wes Anderson movies, that's when it sort of like took that turn of like, the avant-garde, serious. Because that's when he started doing stuff like Coffee and Cigarettes, Life Aquatic, Lost City. I mean, the Darjeeling Limited. That movie was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's when he started
artsy,
doing that kind of like just artsy stuff. And then Zombieland peppered right in there in the middle.
Give me my Caddyshacks and my Ghostbusters, and that's all I need from you.
That's right.
We're going to talk more than Bill Murray this hour. Although that would hit with our theme because we talked about General Douglas Murray.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we can keep the Murray theme going. But no. We're going to talk, we're actually going to talk Piñata Fest. And we're going to have Marcos Nava with the Roswell Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Bob Power is going to join him as well.
Nice.
And we're going to chit-chat about Piñata Fest and all that's happening. That's this weekend, the 10th through the 12th.
We are in the thick of festival season.
We will piñata it up.
Grab your whacking sticks, kids.
That's right. We're about to piñata. What would you put in your piñata? Like if you had your personal piñata that you could fill with anything you want, and don't say money. Something.
No.
Something. No.
I already have my answer.
What would your piñata be filled with?
Nacho cheese.
Just the cheese itself?
Just because how funny would it be if you knock the leg off a paper mache horse and you just see oozing cheese and kids just gathering below it just to let the cheese fall into their open mouths? That to me seems like a fun party time experience. Not necessarily pre-pandemic or like during the pandemic. I want to wait till like there's no germs anymore. Once that happens, then go nuts. Nacho cheese. Or even better, okay, if you want to localize it, Dory nachos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, then you're stepping it up a notch because you got that crunch factor and then kind of the sog. Oh, yeah. I'm actually salivating thinking about that right now. Dang it. I love Dory nachos. They're the best.
I'm trying to think. Like, I'm part of me wants to do something like pudding.
Right? Same concept, right? Just to have something oozing out of a paper mache horse.
I just want to see, like, the pudding fly because
one good whack
little
to the
whack
belly.
And just to see just pudding.
Just the pan effect of all the parents' faces.
Yeah, the audience getting pudding popped in their face. And it's going to be chocolate pudding because that's the only one kind of pudding I know. And so
you didn't inform the person who filled the piñata and you're like, tapioca? This is nonsense. Tapioca I feel like would be dangerous because you got like a lot of tiny flying parts.
Yeah, we're chocolate pudding.
That's like BBs at that point.
At pudding at first they're like, what is... Oh, it's chocolate. Never mind. And they're happy. So at first they're mad, but then they're like, oh, it's chocolate. I'm okay.
Tapioca pudding is like sweet shrapnel inside of a piñata. Put that on a shirt.
Yeah. A pudding piñata.
A pudding piñata, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to talk real piñatas and all that. We'll talk with Marcos and Bob here in just a few minutes. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, town hall business report as well, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do anything else, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things stay dry for the next couple of days. We'll have high pressure over our area and warm downslope wind coming off the mountains. Mid-90s on our afternoon highs today and sunny. Overnight will be clear with mid-60s, and then we're in the low 90s and sunny again on Wednesday. Clear Wednesday night, mid-90s, and plenty of sunshine for Thursday and Friday. It will be a little hotter. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 75 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 58%. Winds are actually calm at the moment. Sunny today. Expect a high of 95. Yeah, it's going to be warm. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. The warmth continues pretty much all week, by the way. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 66 and east winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, sunny. Highs around 93 with north winds at around 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, overnight low of 66. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10. Thursday, sunny and 97 with south winds 10 to 15. Clear skies Thursday night with an overnight low of 65. Friday, century mark. Yeah, sunny and hot. Expect highs near 100 on Friday. And then warm on Saturday, sunny, hot, 99 on Saturday. And then a smidge cooler on Sunday. Our temps drop down to 93 under sunny skies on Sunday. So the warmth continues, particularly in the bottom half of this week. But looks like we're going to be warm pretty much all week long. All right, it is 9:15. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, we're going to talk Piñata Fest with Marcos Nava and Bob Power. Don't go away.
Hey, this is Dr. Keon Egger at Carabelli Dental in Roswell. Our office is passionate about creating beautiful, long-lasting smiles. But here's the thing. Sometimes that means dentures, and that's not a bad thing. These aren't your grandma's dentures. We combine artistry and the latest technology to create beautiful, natural-looking teeth. If you are in southeastern New Mexico and you have dentures or are considering dentures, you need to come visit us at Carabelli Dental.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 622-4455.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests, and they offer answers and solutions when you need them most. Protect your home, your children, and your pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Let Bob Reed Pest Control and their fully licensed professionals start working for you and your family today. Call 623-5344, serving all of southeastern New Mexico. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Big O Tires is celebrating its Carlsbad location's 1-year anniversary with big savings. Now through September 30th, get $50 off sets of 4 in-stock Big O brand tires. Up to $150 in tire rebates from brands like Goodyear, Pirelli, Bridgestone, Hankook, and General Tires. Plus discounts on oil changes, alignments, financing options, and more. Stop by either Big O location for these big deals. 4212 National Parks Highway in Carlsbad or 1305 North Main Street in Roswell. Installation charges extra. Eligibility may vary. Disposal and local tire fees extra. Up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price. Not to exceed $35 where permitted. See store and rebate forms for details.
How many times do you think we could say lucky in 30 seconds? This is the lucky 13th year for the Artesia Chamber of Commerce's Clays Crusher Fun Shoot. If you're feeling lucky, please join us on Saturday, September 18th for a fun day of shooting clays. Luckily, we scored a spot at the Eddy County Shooting Range and we'll have 2 rotations at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. If you're lucky, you will hit all 70 targets. If we are lucky, the weather will cooperate. It's just $150 per participant. A team of 5 is just $750, and a sponsorship is luckily $1,300. Sign up at artesiachamber.com or give us a call at 575-746-2744. We just said 7 luckies in 30 seconds. Luck must be on our side. Clay's Crusher, September 18th, artesiachamber.com. Paid for by the Artesia and Eddy County Lodgers Tax.
Otto von Bismarck is said to have quipped, "Laws are like sausages. It's better not to see them being made." While that's a great line, we respectfully disagree. We're New Mexico Foundation for Open Government, a nonpartisan, not-for-profit organization that exists to promote transparency in government, so you not only know what's happening, but why, and by whom. Because what you don't know can hurt you. Visit nmfog.org and become a member today. Sponsored by New Mexico Broadcasters Association.
Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound football is back on the High Plains. Don't miss out on all the excitement of Greyhound football as the Hounds welcome in Adams State Saturday, September 11th at 6 p.m. Sponsored by Nixon Enterprises. Don't miss out as ENMU salutes America's heroes with a flyover before the game courtesy of Cannon Air Force Base. Tickets start as low as $10 for adults, and kids 8 and under are free. For more information, visit goeasternathletics.com. ENMU football, all in.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Procrastinators Club of America newsletter is called Last Month's Newsletter. Their first newsletter should be released any day now. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, Marcos Nava back with us, and Bob Power joining us as well. Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
How's life treating everybody?
Life is good. Good to be here with you again. It's a great occasion. We have a lot of good news, a lot of good things to share with your audience.
Absolutely.
And I am glad that Mr. Power is here with us. And joining us because he's got something important to talk about later on.
Yeah, he's going to add to the weekend here.
That's
as
right.
Part of it too
yes,
as well.
Absolutely.
Real quick before we talk Piñata Fest and everything this weekend, I messed up and forgot to mention earlier in the show. There for folks that want to go and work on the Memory Lawn Cemetery, they have their cleanup days. Today's one of the days. They normally would do it on a Wednesday, but there was logistics that couldn't happen tomorrow. So they're out there right now. They started about 8:30 this morning. So if there's folks that want to help out with the mowing and all that good stuff with Memory Lawn or weed cleanup or any of the work that we've got some great volunteers. There's member of American Legion Post 61 that's been doing stuff. And then, then there's folks from the community that just, they've been seeing stuff and saying, hey, this looks bad, and they're rolling up their sleeves and coming out and helping. So it's a real community effort out there. So if you have an interest or desire to come out there, please go out to Memory Lawn right now. Bring a shovel or a rake with you, or just come out and say, hey, I've got legs and a back. How can I help out here? And they'll put you to work out there.
Mike, just to continue a little bit on that, it's really not part of what I wanted to talk about today, but what a great thing that the community is doing. We have a great partnership with Toro Bravo.
Yeah.
And during the cleanup days, we work out a deal where we buy meals for volunteers.
Okay.
And if there's a list of volunteers that are working there today, let me have that list, and I will make sure that they get a voucher to go out and have a nice meal at Toro Bravo.
Oh, nice. Is El Toro, I got to ask, because this is my favorite thing. And they started doing it during COVID. El Toro Bravo had a deal where you could get like a big, ginormous tray of tacos or enchiladas.
Oh.
I always got the tacos, and it was cheap. It was like $20 for this big thing of tacos, and I think it came with beans and rice and everything. My wife and I got it. We were eating tacos for like a week and a half. It was delicious. I got a little tired of tacos after a while, but it was and it was for $20. And then
I can be that.
I ate for an entire week for my wife and I for $20. It was delicious food. So swing on by El Toro, and then when you don't leave room for your sweet tooth, because you got to hit the bakery next door and load up. But yeah, that's awesome that they're partnering with you guys and doing that.
Yeah, if they give me a list of the volunteers for today, I will make sure that they get that voucher.
Nice, very good. Now I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, coming up, mark it on your calendars. This weekend is Piñata Fest. It's happening the 10th through the 12th. And like previous year's Piñata Fest, all the fun is going to be back. A lot of bragging rights in Piñata Fest because, I mean, some of the traditional stuff is, of course, the eating contest, the jalapeno and tamale eating contest and all that. And let's face it, if you have a hankering to eat as many jalapenos as you possibly can, you better at least get some bragging rights out of that because at the end of the day, nothing's good coming of that later.
Right.
Your digestive system's going to remind you that you should not eat a bunch of jalapenos at one time.
Although for those contestants, we will have a little bit of milk for them. That might help just a little bit.
But I know because, and I get it. Because at the time, you're like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this. But about a couple jalapenos in, you're like, this was a bad idea. But it's a lot of fun, and they do it. And I'm sure some of the previous champions or people that have made a dent in some of those jalapenos in the past will be coming out and trying to either regain or compete for that title there.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's just part of it. I mean, there's dancing, there's music. Obviously, there's piñatas aplenty. But it's really a celebration weekend. Come out, enjoy. Our local merchants come out with all kinds of great items, food, homemade jewelries and collectibles.
Yes.
It's really an opportunity to kind of see what Roswell has to offer. A little bit.
Yes. And we've added a couple of new attractions to the festival.
Okay.
We'll talk about that on Friday and Saturday, 9/11. We're going to have a musical tribute to 9/11, and Mr. Power here has been kind enough to organize this event. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about that, Mr. Power?
Yeah, it kind of worked out the calendar this year that Piñata Fest and 9/11 are at the same time. So we do not want to cheapen or trivialize the 9/11 events and things. So we're going to party with piñatas and music and everything, but at the same time, take some time out of the day to remember why we celebrate these freedoms and why the sacrifices that were made on 9/11 and why we honor them.
Absolutely.
Well, I had the idea of doing this because 2 reasons. It's the 20th anniversary of it.
That's true.
And I was talking to a young fella and his girlfriend, and I mentioned 911.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "What's that?" And I couldn't believe that they didn't know what it was.
Wow. It wasn't even on their radar, huh?
And
it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, but I got thinking, there's probably a lot of other people that have forgotten or don't know.
Sure. Or know of it, but don't know any details of what
And
took
in
place.
my opinion, it's an event that we should never forget.
Absolutely, yes.
Yep.
I agree.
Absolutely. So, so I got to ask Bob, what's on the agenda for our 9/11 tribute on Saturday?
Well, it's a musical tribute.
Okay.
And
again, it's all part of the Piñata Fest weekend right there. It's on the courthouse lawn with all the other cool things and venues that will be going on.
It will start off our Saturday activities. This is starting at 10 a.m.
Okay, very good.
We have the most fabulous voices in Roswell, I think, in my opinion.
Sure.
We've got Sean Lee, Lee White, and Tom Blake.
Oh, yeah. And anybody that's been at any, well, really, we've had a lot of, especially patriotic events around town. These gentlemen have lended their voices and their talents to those. And yes, it almost, to be honest, we can't have a patriotic celebration without these gentlemen a part of it. It's almost traditional at this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well,
it feels that way. So.
We've invited others.
Okay.
That couldn't make a commitment ahead of time.
Sure.
So there's probably going to be others.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of people remembering that day, and I'm sure they're committed at many places and things throughout the area. So.
Well, yeah.
Well, but we got 3 good ones: Tom Blake, Lee White, and Sean Lee. They're going to be singing. A few more singers and everything might be popping up as well too. And so will it be a tribute through music, basically?
A what?
A tribute through music, basically?
Through music, yes.
Excellent. Very good. Okay.
And I would like to thank Marcos for the opportunity to do this. He's been wonderful to work with.
Well, it's a community. We're all one community,
Yes.
all of us here. And I know the work the Hispano Chamber works hand in hand with our chamber and city and various other entities in town. And it's the same thing. We're all community. And we all, and let's face it, Piñata Fest is a tradition here. This is something we have every year. And sure, it's evolved and added and things have happened to it over the years. But it's that part of that thing. And so it's great to see that we're celebrating our community by celebrating Piñata Fest, but also remembering the big picture and celebrating our country and what this day represents. And we can take an hour of our day to listen to the music, use that to evoke some memories and things, hopefully use that time to educate the younger people on why we honor and recognize that day and why it's so important we never forget those things that took place on that day. And ultimately, the sacrifices that have been made by many Americans after that day because of that day.
But
that's what that event's all about.
If you watch the media and believe half of what they say, you see the turmoil in all the other communities.
Mm-hmm.
And Roswell seems to be a community that works together, that supports the blue. In other communities, they're killing the police officers.
Sure.
Here, we're supporting them.
Sure.
And
we can all disagree about various things, but we as a community can come together and do all that.
It's a community we can take pride in.
Yeah, and I know 9/11 kind of evokes some of that stuff, and so we just want to we're going to take an hour out of the Piñata Fest weekend, and we're going to have some great music by some great gentlemen. Please come out during the courthouse lawn. Like I said, it starts at 10. That's kind of kicking off the Sunday or Saturday events there.
Absolutely, yes. It would start off at 10 for about an hour. We'll have the musical tribute. And right after that, Mike, we're going to have piñata breaking.
All right.
And then we have a great program throughout the following day. We're going to have some folklore dancers performing.
Yeah, the folklore. If you never had a chance to see the folklorico, any of them, the group, the Roswell folklore, any of the folklorico groups, they are very talented because it's steeped in tradition. And obviously the dancing and all that, but it's all about tradition and passing these dances and things from generation. You can't get more family than folklorico. So
that's right.
You come check it out.
Yes.
It's really cool.
It will be great. They'll perform for about an hour, and then we'll have first time ever. Piñatas are for kids. They enjoy it, but adults, we're also kids at heart.
I like breaking things and getting gifts for doing that.
So we're gonna have some breaking piñatas. So. You come for the tribute and stay for the other events.
Okay.
And the piñatas are going to be happening for adults, and then a lot of DJ music, and then we start with the bands. We're going to have Satisfied band from Las Cruces. They play a lot of country music.
Okay.
A lot of country music in English. And then we're going to have Tejano and Cumbia.
So it's going to be a great mix of everything.
A great mix of everything.
Everybody.
Right.
Cool.
Yes, and then, of course, we'll have the Hermanos Cabenzuela by request. I've gotten people that have called me and said, hey, we want the Cabenzuelas to come back, so we're going to have them. They're going to be closing the evening that night.
Nice.
Right.
So from really start to beginning, there's going to be music going on the entire festival weekend.
Right.
Please come out and be a part of it. And the great news is, it's not like you have to pay. You just come on out and then start walking around and enjoying it. It's like, it's free. Obviously you're going to want to bring some money because there's going to be some things you want to buy and eat and shop.
There are going to be plenty of food trucks.
Yeah.
We have about 12 food trucks that have signed up to be there.
Awesome.
And we have 25 vendors vending jewelry, other goodies throughout the day. And two new activities that I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is that, oh my gosh, why haven't we done this in the past? We're going to have a booth where kids can come up and make their own piñatas.
Okay.
at no cost to them.
Awesome. And so they can kind of learn the art of piñata making.
That's right.
And then hopefully take the skill set and start on something there and then finish it at home and go on to making more piñatas for their family.
And no cost. It's going to be a fun event. So all we ask is people to sign up and be patient, because it's going to be time consuming making the piñatas, and we want to give them all the attention to those that we have there.
It is something that does not just happen overnight. It's paper mache and layers and layers.
Right,
and
letting it dry.
Yeah, it's
the form.
It's an art form. It's very much like ristra making and things. You got to have a lot of patience and a lot of it's that attention to detail. That's what makes a great chili ristra. That's what makes a great piñata. It's all in that attention to detail.
I forgot one important thing.
Okay, probably should mention that then.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get Marcos up to sing.
Okay.
Oh, no. I will do my best.
All right. Do you have any singing skills?
Nada.
Me either. Yeah, I got zero. Zippy. I'm like, my public service is not singing. I'm doing it, but well, here's the thing. By that, do it towards the end. By that time, everyone will be ready to eat and get food and everything.
Go hit the piñatas, right?
So that's right. And
right. But thanks, Bob. Thanks for the challenge.
Well, maybe you should start practicing your song here.
Right.
But everything will officially get underway noon on Friday. That's the Piñata Fest is when and it'll keep going through Sunday. But everything will start getting underway on the courthouse lawn about noon. You'll start seeing music and then piñatas and then of course that's pretty much what's going to be going on. And then I guess the highlight of the night will be the band Satisfied kind of closing out the Friday night festivities.
Yes.
And then, like you said, Saturday at 10 a.m., the 9/11 musical tribute will kick off the Saturday's events, and then it's going to go all day till about 10 o'clock that night too, with live music, of course, all of that stuff. And then Sunday, it starts bright and early with church at noon. You're going to have the Catholic Mass out there. Yes. Again, part of the tradition of Piñata Fest.
Right.
So come and celebrate church with us Sunday morning.
Yes.
And then,
at 10 a.m. we'll have the church Mass with one clarification.
Okay.
There will be no sacrament.
Okay.
It's just
for
a
COVID.
Service. Yes.
It's just no obviously communion, that kind of thing.
Yes. So we want to make sure that people come and enjoy themselves. Just like for the tribute, for the Catholic Mass, we want them to bring their own portable chairs and sit down and enjoy the morning. Yeah. It should be nice and fresh. So that's one of the new activities that we brought back to the Piñata Fest on Sunday, the Mass.
Excellent. So start early with the Mass and then linger around till 3 o'clock. It'll keep going till 3 o'clock that day with more live music, more shopping and things. When some of the eating contests and stuff, that'll be happening right around, 4:35 on Saturday?
Yes, on Saturday we'll have that for about an hour. We'll start off with the tacos. That's the easy one.
Yeah, the tacos.
Yeah, anyone can do the tacos. And then the real challenge, unless
they slip a little red or green in there more than normal, then we can make it interesting.
Not a bad idea.
Maybe a little habanero accidentally ends up in those tacos.
Marcos brought up something that is important also. For our event, it'd be a good idea for people to bring their own portable chairs too.
Yeah, if you want to sit, because it's an hour of delightful music and
right.
But depending where the shade is and everything, you want to get you a nice little lawn chair. Of course, the grass is a great place to sit, but depending on how mobile you are, getting up from there to there might not be as fun. So bring your lawn chair. But if you want to bring your blankets and spread out like a picnic style type morning and watch the music and everything, and just come spread out and sit the family on a blanket, that'd be great too.
If they're like me and they sit on the grass, they couldn't get up without help.
Yeah.
I'll be there to help you.
There you go.
I'll be there to help you.
Marcos will pull you up.
And,
although, if places to be stuck for the weekend, sitting there in the nice green grass at the courthouse lawn for the weekend, could be worse places you're stuck at. That'd be a good place. People get you a sandwich every once in a while or a taco or something. You'd be all right.
But you have to relieve yourself from time to time, too.
That's Depends on how much you don't mind or mind that stuff. It'll come out regardless, won't it? I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
But now, come on out and have some fun.
Yes.
It's going to be a great weekend. Even if you only have a day to spend out there, please come out there and bring your friends, bring your family. It doesn't cost anything to come participate. Come enjoy all the free music, all the free events. Come support our local merchants and our food trucks and all the groups. They're going to be out there working this weekend. There's some great vendors, great arts and crafts, things that unique projects that you don't really get to see all the time, and you get to see them at events like this.
Yes.
If you always wanted to learn to make a piñata, well, what better place than Piñata Fest? Like you said, on Saturday you're going to have the event for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're 40 and you're hanging around over there taking notes on piñata making. Go for it.
There you go.
It's nothing wrong with that. You know?
Take out your phone and just
take notes and learn how to make piñatas at home there, and just come be a part of it. And like you said, on 9/11 on Saturday, be there at 10 a.m. for the 9/11 tribute. We're going to have some great patriotic music from Tom Blake, Lee White, Sean Lee, and maybe some others as well. It's going to be from 10 to 11. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your blankets, come on out, and it will be the official kickoff for the Saturday events at this year's Piñata Fest. So please come on out. Is there still time? I know we're days away, but is there room if someone's just thinking they want to be a vendor at this event, or is it pretty full at this point?
Very good question. I gotten 2 phone calls just prior to coming here.
Okay.
And the answer is yes.
Okay.
We do have openings for arts and craft vendors.
Okay.
But food trucks were pretty full now.
Okay, so if you have an arts and crafts thing and you're like, but we're good on the food.
Yeah,
for
we're
this.
good on the food, yes.
Trick is get there earlier.
That's right.
Come out and so if you want to be a part of next year's Piñata Fest, maybe reach out in July or August to Marcos here and to get out.
We'll have an information booth and we'll pass out the schedules and information on the piñata.
Okay.
And it'll be a good time to just let us know of your interest.
Yeah.
And we'll take note.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But if you have arts and crafts, there's still some space out there. I would not wait till the end of the week. I'd get a hold of Marcos today.
Right.
What's probably the best, just to call the Hispano Chamber?
Yes, have them call me at 575-420-8787.
Okay.
Yes.
And then leave a message if you don't get Marcos live here. You can always shoot a message on the Hispano Chamber's Facebook page, and someone will get back to you pretty quick too if you need something.
Absolutely.
Need something done. That's a great resource to get get a hold of somebody at the Hispano Chamber too. But for the rest of us, just make a point. Come on out. Weather-wise, it's going to be a beautiful, warm weekend. We're going to be in the 90s. Good news is the courthouse lawn is got plenty of shade out there and beautiful. There's going to be tons of water stations cooling down, and of course, like you said, there's going to be food trucks and everything else. And if that doesn't do it for you, El Toro Bravo's right there. Peppers, many of our other great downtown businesses and merchants are right there to take care of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Is there anything we missed?
I think we got everything as far as the
We get
piñata. Bob?
Anything we missed on your end?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. And of course, if people are more interested in becoming part of the Hispano Chamber, your business or your organization, or if you've got events and you'd like the Hispano Chamber to partner with you or need help, please don't hesitate to reach out to Marcos. Again, it's all about our community and putting things together, and all of our entities, the Hispano Chamber, the Roswell Chamber, the city, the county, even the EDC, we all work hand in hand to try to do what's best for this community, and events like this and things like that. That's what helps our community grow, and that's what makes us a great community, is our fun and our events like this. And this is part of our fabric and our culture and this is Roswell Piñata Fest. These are things. So come be a part of the tradition.
Yes,
it's not all little green men and cheese. Although I love both of those things.
There is something. If anybody needs more information or wants to contact me for any reason, they can do so at 575-910-4648.
Very good. Reach out to Bob, and if you have any questions, or if you want, because I know for folks that don't know, Bob organizes a lot of dances and things at like Adult Center, veterans events and things like that too. So
more gospel shows.
But they all kind of tie together with veterans and God. I mean, it's all It's all community driven.
Yeah.
So, but if you would like to get involved in more of that, please don't hesitate to reach out to Bob. Or if you have an event or something that you or see a need, talk to Bob.
Absolutely.
He's there and wants to get involved and help out with that kind of stuff. So, awesome. Well, good. Did we get it all?
I think
we got it all.
Awesome. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate. I know you both got a busy week ahead of you, and so we'll let you get to it. I'm sure you got about 20 fires to stomp out.
Great. Thank you, Mike. As always,
Excellent.
you've been kind and thank you for your support.
Anytime. And folks, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Reach out to the Hispano Chamber. And if you're looking to become a member or need help in the Hispano Chamber, has definitely got a lot of great options to help you. When it comes from business to community to making business and community work together, he can help you do all this.
And thank you for calling me a gentleman.
Bob's a good man. He's a good man. I don't care what they say about him. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
All right, it is 9:44. Let's go ahead and pause for local news, quick break, and then we'll be back to wrap up the show. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Roswell police are asking for some help in finding a missing teenager. Jada Marie Fain is 15 years old and was last seen with her family as she was dropped off for school Friday morning at Goddard High. Jada did not show up for class that day. She also uses the nickname MJ and is about 5 feet 2 inches tall and weighs 115 pounds. Jada has blue eyes and natural blonde hair that was recently dyed black, but that dye may now be fading. Anyone with information is urged to call Roswell police immediately. The latest health department stats show just 33% of residents in Eddy County are considered fully vaccinated for COVID-19. 40% of people in Eddy County have had at least one dose. That's as of August 30th. Statewide, New Mexico reported a total of just over 231,000 cases of COVID-19 since the beginning of the pandemic last year, but that's an increase of 3% in just 1 week. Statewide, the vaccine numbers are at 70% with at least one dose and 61% who are fully vaccinated. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Your morning espresso starts right here. It's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
There is a significant majority of registered Democratic voters. They now prefer socialism to capitalism. Fox News poll, socialism 59% favorable, capitalism 49%. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Any name, any form, any manifestation of socialism, redistributionism, it all ends the same way. Broken promises, unfulfilled promises. It ends with more poverty, not less, and giving up how much freedom you calculate at the end of the mess you created. If you think it's going to work and it appeals to you, tell me what part of government is so effective now beyond the military.
The Sean Hannity Show from coast to coast later today.
All right, the school year is getting started for millions across the nation. Chances are your child's learning environment is not going to be a perfect one. Now, Acellus Power Homeschool, they have become the answer for both schools and for parents that have decided to bring their child's classroom either partially home or for full-time homeschooling. Now, parents worry that their kids are getting behind in math because schools had to close last year, and other parents worry if their kids are on track to read at their grade level. And now we're worried again that our kids might face disruptions this school year. Now, at powerhomeschool.org, it's one word. You're going to see how parents can control their children's education by offering online courses at home taught by some of America's greatest teachers. Now, it's especially effective if your student is struggling or students with learning disabilities. If you are considering homeschooling or looking to fill any gaps at home, please visit powerhomeschool.org. That's powerhomeschool.org today.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things stay dry for the next couple of days. We'll have high pressure over our area and warm downslope wind coming off the mountains. Mid-90s on our afternoon highs today and sunny. Overnight will be clear with mid-60s, and then we're in the low 90s and sunny again on Wednesday. Clear Wednesday night, mid-90s, and plenty of sunshine for Thursday and Friday. It will be a little hotter. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Rich Thomason. China's import and export growth picked up last month despite a surge in COVID-19.
Customs data show exports rose 25.6% to $294.3 billion, up from July's 18.9% growth. Imports rose 33.1% to $236 billion, up from the previous month's 28.7%. That came despite lingering disruptions in industrial supply chains due to last year's global economic shutdown and a renewed rise in infections in the U.S. and some other markets that have dampened consumer sentiment.
Correspondent Jeremy House. While that strong report from China helped Asian stocks, Wall Street sold off this morning. The Dow sharply lower at mid-morning. The Nasdaq and the S&P were down as well. The market's first day back following a long holiday weekend. With business, I'm Rich Thomason.
When you think of home health care here in Roswell, what's the first thing that pops into your head? That's right, Frontier Medical. We've been doing it better than anyone else for over 20 years, from in-home nursing to physical therapy and so much more. Doctors and hospitals from Albuquerque to Lubbock and everywhere in between have been trusting their patients to us here at Frontier Medical. So when it's time to make a choice, remember Frontier Medical. 575-627-1112. Frontier Medical.
Name to remember. The High Caliber Summer Sale is on now at LGS Guns and Ammo. Now through Labor Day weekend, save big on guns, ammo, and everything you need. From brands like Glock, Ruger, Springfield, Smith & Wesson, Mossberg, and more. Plus, massive savings on ammo, targets, magazines, optics, and knives, and a great selection of Springfield St. Edge rifles. The High Caliber Summer Sale on now at LGS Guns and Ammo. Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammunition in Hobbs or Roswell, and at LGSguns.com.
How many times do you think we could say lucky in 30 seconds? This is the lucky 13th year for the Artesia Chamber of Commerce's Clay's Crusher Fun Shoot. If you're feeling lucky, please join us on Saturday, September 18th for a fun day of shooting clays. Luckily, we scored a spot at the Eddy County Shooting Range and we'll have 2 rotations at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. If you're lucky, you will hit all 70 targets. If we are lucky, the weather will cooperate. It's just $150 per participant. A team of 5 is just $750, and a sponsorship is luckily $1,300. Sign up at artesiachamber.com or give us a call at 575-746-2744. We just said 7 luckies in 30 seconds. Luck must be on our side. Clay's Crusher, September 18th, artesiachamber.com. Paid for by the Artesia and Eddy County Lodgers Tax.
Big O Tires is celebrating its Carlsbad location's 1-year anniversary with big savings. Now through September 30th, get $50 off sets of 4 in-stock Big O brand tires. Up to $150 in tire rebates from brands like Goodyear, Pirelli, Bridgestone, Hankook, and General Tires. Plus discounts on oil changes, alignments, financing options, and more. Stop by either Big O location for these big deals. 4212 National Parks Highway in Carlsbad or 1305 North Main Street in Roswell. Installation charges extra. Eligibility may vary. Disposal and local tire fees extra. Up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price. Not to exceed $35 where permitted. See store and rebate forms for details.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than just serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable. Serving part-time lets you attend school full-time while you take advantage of education benefits that can help you graduate debt-free. If a civilian career is your goal, serving part-time allows you to work at a full-time job. The skills, qualities, and contacts you'll develop in the Guard can open doors to a great civilian career. Want to serve but worried about being away from friends and family? Part-time service in the Army National Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want while you enjoy the many benefits of serving your community and nation. You owe it to yourself to learn more about how the Army National Guard can fit into your life. Visit NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Movie trailers were originally shown after the movie, which is why they're called trailers. Mike thought they named them after the mobile home. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:53. Got a few minutes here before we wrap up today's show. I mentioned about the memory lawn. They're over there right now doing some work. If you'd like to go and help out, please swing on by before it gets too hot out there. It's supposed to be another warm one today. Also, this came out over the weekend, and we've been mentioning it in our news broadcast, if you've been hearing those. But if you missed them, the public is needed. Their help is needed. We have a missing girl. She's a 15-year-old. She was reported missing on Friday, or she was last seen Friday. I'm just going to read the RPD just verbatim. That way I don't say anything. The public's help is sought as the Roswell Police Department attempts to locate a local teenager who has been reported missing. Her name is Jada Marie Fain, Fain. She's 15, and she was last seen by her family when she was dropped off for school at Goddard Friday morning, September 3rd. Jada did not show up for any of her classes that day. Jada, who is known to her friends as MJ, she's about 5'2". She weighs approximately 115 pounds. She has blue eyes. Her hair is naturally blonde, but she recently dyed her hair black. However, they believe that the dye may be fading. Anyone with any information or could possibly help locate Jada, please call the Roswell Police Department, 575-624-6770. Again, that's 575-624-6770. Or you can reach out to the dispatch center, too, 575-624-7590. Either one of those. And if you don't mind, if you have social media, or if you don't, get on Facebook, go to our Facebook page. You will find her post. If you go to the Roswell Police Department, it's the one at the top of the page, and it's got the description I just read for you, as well as several pictures of her. One in the dyed hair, one with her hair more of its natural color. That way to help folks locate her. So let's get her back with her family. I think I started seeing the families post stuff and friends Saturday, and then police and more officials, I think, got involved Sunday. I mean, at least that's what it looks like on Facebook. I don't know how the timeline went down, but she's been missing since Friday. So if folks see her or have any information, please call the Roswell Police Department and get that information out. Por favor. Something else I was going to mention. Oh, I know what it was. You know what we did on Sunday? This was... Well, I'm kind of getting burnt out on fantasy football. Like, I used to be in like 6, 7, 8 leagues, and do all this, and just it was a monotonous thing of all that. And over the years, I've been weeding it down, and this year is my lowest ever. I'm in one league. Last year I was in 2. I was in 3 leagues for a good hunk of 5, 6 years. I mean, I've been in much more than that, but I got it whittled down to 3 leagues for probably the last 3, 4, 5 years. And I finally was, I'm just tired of it. It's just getting burned. So I'm just doing the one league. It's not like our work league. No one's expressed it. Well, one person did, and that's the person who's doing another league. So I'm in their league, and that's it. So I'm doing one league. But we did our draft on Sunday evening. We all had to get together and Labor Day shindig, and had our draft. And I think I did all right. It's a 12-person league. We go through Yahoo, and now they give you report cards, which mean absolutely nothing. I've been getting these report cards for years, and they have no bearing whatsoever. As a matter of fact, whatever the draft grade it indicates, I generally do the opposite of what they tell me. So I guess I'm going to be middle this year, because like if I get like an A draft grade and there's like, yeah, usually I don't even make the playoffs. Those years I get, they say I do an amazing job drafting. I never even make the playoffs. The years that they say I stink or average, that's when I make the playoffs and win championships. So this year I got a B-, which is right in the middle. Could go either way. I didn't get no A's, but I wasn't getting the C's and D's like I'd get in the past. I got a B-. So that means I don't know what that means, to be honest. I have no idea if that's going to mean success or failure. I just because I draft differently, like my style of draft, I base it on need and position and what's available. And of course they do these draft grading by, if you're going to draft Russell Wilson, the favorite things, you should draft him in the 4th round or 3rd round. I'm like, no. I'm looking at the tea leaves in my draft, and if I want to get a quarterback that's that caliber, I ain't going to wait till the 4th round because I know how these people are picking, so I pick that way. And so I don't pay no attention to that draft grade. In their personality-driven scenario, it's all computers and numbers and, basing this, that's how they're giving you a grade. It doesn't account the human error. The human side, and that's the human error, the human side, which that's what I do. Because people ask, especially folks that are newer to, doing this, and you get some people that they get into fantasy football and they're just studying the numbers and they're looking through and it's like, but Oakland, whenever they play Denver in November in Oakland and it's 75 there, that means they're going to win and they do this and they study it that way and they get way into it, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing all that. But so I've got enough to keep my fun, or I did one, and that was fun. But now I don't have to do all the work of monitoring 3 leagues or caring about a player. Oh, I need him to do well in this league, but bad in this league, and all the other rigmarole. I just got the one league, worry about my 12 guys or 10 guys, 18 guys, whatever it is I got, and roll about my day. All right, I just saw the time. About time for us to wrap up today's show. If you missed any part of it, we had a full slate today. We had General Douglas Murray join us in the 7 o'clock hour, Robert Sherman in the 8, and Marcos Nava and Bob Power talking Piñata Fest this hour. Go back and check them out, ksvptv.com, in the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. We'll be back with a brand new show tomorrow. Thank you very, very, very much for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have a great day. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back 7 a.m. tomorrow. Till then, take care.